Peace, 1, 2, 3. Back. The evening edition. It's like all day, all nighter, huh? The telethon, campaign show, telethon. It's on almost 4 hours a few minutes ago, a little while ago. Just tapping back in, making myself available. Live callers, commenters. Try to see how long that's going to take. Of course, I want to make myself available for any more Kanye West critics, any discussions. Nate the Greatest, salute. Walaikum salam. Back at it. Making myself available. See who wants to tap in early. Don't have no topic, but I wanted to continue with the Kanye West thing, but I didn't want to overkill it. But I'm definitely making myself available, like I said I was. But for any topic that I might want to touch on, that y'all might want to recap on. Squab Cooks, salute David RT, Hub and the Dub, all day, every day. Out here in these YouTube streets, campaign show living and thriving in this war, this real war. Put my little phone up. Yeah, I'm just trying to make myself available though. Been calling for a lot of little smoke. Know what today's current events are. They say the stock market has crashed. Is it true? I think the stock market crashes often. Like crash don't mean it collapses, but that's something to look at. We can actually look at that. So let me find out. Let me share this screen. Stock market. Hold on one second. Yeah, I don't know. Market crashing. Yeah, I don't know about it. It say, yeah, I'm looking at it. It don't say that it actually crashed. But that's what it say. Let me pull this off. Learning my little computer skills. I mean, my little online skills. So that's what it's saying. It's saying it's not really saying nothing really like that. It's like it seemed like it's warning of some kind of crash, but it don't say like it's stock market. They call stock. Will it cause a crash? Will the stock market crash? So I ain't seen that up to date. All of that's 14 hours ago, and still, I ain't seen nothing up to date. So I don't think so. I don't think that's it. Yusuf Arline, salute. Walaikum salam. Knowledge of self, salute. King Z. Stocks tanked over 2 trillion. Yeah, they've been doing way worse than that in one day. They did over 5 trillion in losses a few like a week or so ago. So yeah, it's going down though. It's going down in the DM. Babylon is falling, that's for sure, but it's going look like it's going up. So it ain't like we celebrating or nothing like that, but yeah, it's gonna go up before it go down. Let's see. Hit the like button, man. We're gonna get into some. We're gonna get into some hot controversial topics. If anybody wanna indulge me, anybody want to take me up on any of these fades, any of these challenges or showdowns, Eric Jackson said the tariffs got them down right now. Yeah, he playing the long game, so they understand that. His economists, his advisors, his financial economist advisors, they all understand that. Not saying it's going to work or it's not going to work, but they don't expect no right away quick fixes. What he doing is for the long road, for the long run. We'll see if it works or not. I mean, we know it ain't gonna work ultimately, but what should we be doing in the meantime? What should we be preparing for? Nate the Greatest, Farrakhan, yeah. Grace is over. The grace period is over. And judgment starts at the house. Judgment starts at the house, in our own house, before it hits Satan and all of that. So we might want to get our own act together, because it's a lot of finger pointing, a lot of blaming, but it's not looking good for the home team. Not looking good for the home team at all. I wanted to get on. Let me see if I can find this. Wanted to get on that, like I said, that yay subject, but I don't know. People don't really want to. Blur 619, get Ice Cube on the show. Shit. If I could, I would, but you'll probably have a better chance to get him on the show than I would. But yeah, he's definitely invited. Anybody that you see me talk about or got critiques or criticisms or whatever about, they absolutely welcome. Question is, am I important enough? Some people think I'm priceless. Other people think I'm, trash. One man's trash is another man's treasure, right? One man's freedom fighter is another man's terrorist. One man's enemy is another man's ally. So, you would have to try to appeal to those people. I'm not turning nobody down. I'm inviting everybody. So I don't know what to tell you. Don't know what to tell you. I want to have dialogues with people that disagree with me, though. It's not to me. It's not very entertaining. If we in an entertainment business, if this is for entertainment or education or edutainment, you know what I'm saying? It's not too exciting just to see people agreeing with each other. I like to actually inspire disagreement and invite people that disagree with me, because that's a form of fades, right? That's a form of boxing or sparring or fighting, or you know what I'm saying? Ain't that what we want? It don't got to be beef. It ain't got to be all emotional and nothing like that. But most people get in their feelings, or they passionate or whatever. So I'm with that. I know how to get passionate. I like to pick important subjects, though. I don't just argue about basketball or rap lyrics. I don't do no debates like that. It got to be about some real revolutionary stuff. Real revolutionary stuff. DJ X1, brother Cam, masturbator. Oh my, yeah. I'm a rapper too, so I see words. I'm either gonna go to comedy mode, or I'm gonna go into lyricist mode, or both. But yeah, no comment on that one. Yeah. Yep. Oh man. But yeah, I'm I don't know, because I be trying not to be on no, what they say, clout chasing stuff and using somebody else's name over and over and over again to just have a controversial argument. Yeah, I just went through like 4 hours of that earlier today. Man, I didn't want it to end up like that. I'd be one sane, one or two people might pop up and they sane, but the people that really want to show up with me don't really seem like they don't want to be offensive. So I heard one of the people saying something about well, it was academics saying something about Ye speaking on Jay-Z and Beyonce's daughter, youngest daughter. I think the youngest daughter saying that she was you know, reteed it, you know what I'm saying, or whatever word that he used. And I really wanted to kind of go into more into that. Is that appropriate language or not? Is that something that's allowed in private? You know, can you say that kind of word in private? Do y'all say that kind of word? You know, his little daughter re-earned it. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, his little, you know, it might be called autistic, might be called slow ADHD. You know what I'm saying? Whatever we call it, do we say that in private? You know what I'm saying? So are we hypocrites if we say it in private and we don't say it in public? You know what I mean? So it's just stuff like that. Like, how far has being politically correct gotten us as a people? has being politically correct or diplomatic, or you know, how far has that gotten black people as a people, descendants of slaves, I should say? Or is it the time, like, you know, I'm not saying I would never say nothing like that publicly. I'm just saying, has it worked? You know, and if it has worked, how has it worked? How well has it worked? What's the girl Jasmine Crockett? She talking all crazy and, you know, talking ghetto and ratchet on the Senate floor or the Congress floor or whatever she is. Does that work? Does that work for us? You know, it seemed like it works for Trump, but are we Trump's people? You know, if he's trying to take America back and make America great again, and he can get away with that kind of locker room talk because he got the support of 80 million or more of his own folks. Can we do that? Can we get away with that? Like, just because they can? Is that gonna work out for us? Right. Nate the greatest. I was raised in an era where the R word was PC. Yeah. But does anything go now? Is all gloves off? All bets is off. The gloves is off. We can say whatever we want to say. Because that's what it seemed like is going. So how can you be extra hyper emotional and then say you know we can say whatever we want to say? That sounds like a recipe for disaster. That sounds like a recipe for straight mess and drama. You're supposed to have freedom of speech. You can say whatever you want to say, but then you super emotional when it comes to the reaction to it. So now what? You want to fight? You want to do violence? You're not going to do business with each other because you're not that emotionally mature. So if somebody say something you don't like, you know, F that ninja for life. Let alone if somebody say something about your wife or your child or your husband, or you know what I'm saying, that sounds bad. Like they got a learning disorder or they got some type of mental health condition. Then yeah, that's the definition of blowing up a bridge, blowing up a relationship, blowing up the spot. Dave Lartigue said no, it wasn't. What is Jay on that foul? This I don't get going after someone's seed is very disrespectful. Do God go after our seeds? Let's talk about that. Dave, let's talk about that. So verbally going against somebody, verbally speaking up against somebody, or against somebody's child, or like women, children, babies, elderly. If we supposed to be warriors and God like, and God mass deletes all of those categories of children, babies, elderly, women, you know, girls. What's worse? Somebody saying that your child is this or that, or getting them deleting them. What's worse? Is what Ye is saying against Jay-Z and Beyonce's daughter worse than what Netanyahu is doing against the Palestinians? because that's who Ye is exposing. That's who Ye is trolling and triggering, you know what I'm saying, and mocking. He's exposing Netanyahu and them people who is doing worse to actual women, children, babies, girls, you know, mentally health ill or healthy or whatever. He's wiping, he's brutally wiping them out, you know. So is Ye worse than that? Why we ain't outraged at people that's actually taking our people's lives? Is Ye's words taking anybody's lives? You know what I'm saying? Just a question. Disrespectful. Okay, what is disrespectful? What is that gonna do to us? Do you know how many people disrespect me and disrespect my family, my wife, my children, my God, my Jesus, my faith? You know what I'm saying? What does that mean? Like, that's supposed to hurt? Is that supposed to make us do bloodshed? Like, what is that supposed to do? My Don, salute, my brother from the streets.
What's happening? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, cool.
KMS say Beyonce was performing at the Grammys 8 months pregnant with twins. I think everybody cheered it on at the same time. Yeah, I'm just saying if Beyonce and Jay-Z are publicly using their influence to promote Hillary Clinton or to promote a rainbow agenda or to promote a 304 thought twerk agenda for my little girls, I can't call them out. You know what I'm saying? I can't say, I think the karma for that could be, this or that. Like, am I off limits to say that? Because you publicly using your global influence to go against what I think is righteous or divine or holy. You know what I'm saying? You degrading my daughters' minds and making it seem like it's cool. I can't say nothing about your daughter. Like, what's off limits? What's off limits and what's not off limits? Especially if, I'm already enraging the beast by exposing them. Why should I be scared of Beyonce or Jay-Z?
I think when it comes to that word, man, that retard, growing up as a kid, I remember hearing parents call their own kids that, like, sit your little retard stuff down,
Yeah, but we extra sensitive now. Like, we can't say nothing that hurts nobody's feelings no more, right?
Yeah, it's weird.
So why do we just adopt this rainbow liberal small caps new emotional definitions and rules and standards of what we can't say all of a sudden? Why is it a hate crime now, a hate speech now? You know what I'm saying? If we say certain words that was said to us for the last 400 years.
Yeah, it's real weird, man. That's strange.
So, but my thing is, let's talk God. We're not talking religion, but let's talk justice or judgment or punishment, consequences or whatever. If people act like what we verbally say is worse than what you claim your God does, why are you worrying about what's coming out of my mouth? Why am I tripping on Charleston White or anybody else that's talking? I'm just going to use words back. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to use words back to call for certain challenges and showdowns or whatever, but it's just words, right? If it's not true, all right, I'm just going to address it and prove that it's not true with my words or my receipts or whatever, and then keep it pushing. But I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't necessarily say that. Unless it was a certain season or climate of hot warfare. You know what I'm saying? If you on the front line or you in the trenches with it, then I'm not politically correct about nothing I say. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Not worried about nothing that I say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like how people they get on this politically correct bandwagon only when it's, you know, for the moment, you know, they ride that wave.
Yeah, and then whose politics are we being correct with? You know, it's politically correct. Whose political laws and rules are we playing by?
Yeah,
the ones that didn't have no political rules when they handle us. It's a free fall. Everything goes with us, but we got to have political correct rules when we talking about them. KCM say Ye actually knows them personally, unlike the Stan fans who are upset or tripping. Absolutely. So he got more of a right for us to listen to why he's saying that. That should make us say, why is he saying that? You know what I'm saying? Damn, that's cold. That's foul. Why is he saying that? Is he responding to something that was more foul? Or is he just a foul ninja? You know what I'm saying? Because Jay-Z, you know, whether it's 50 Cent, whether it's on down the line, you know, Diddy or whoever, Jay-Z is not liked. Jay-Z is not liked. I'm in the entertainment industry. And a lot of people say that, you know, like Dame Dash's position towards Jay-Z, or, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the artists that he had under him at the time. I'm not saying that he's in the wrong, but I'm just saying they don't like him worse than Kanye don't like him. But, you know, they ain't got a independent $2 billion to let their nuts hang and speak on it.
Facts.
So I'm not saying that it's true or not. I'm just saying that I don't see nobody else speaking up like Ye, probably because he has that much attention and that much money to where whatever he say, people are going to respond or listen to it. I'm not saying that, you know, he right or wrong about, you know, what he's saying about his personal relationship with somebody, but I can say what he's right about regarding them Satans and them small caps that he airing out.
Yeah, man. I think I think with all the backlash that came from like Kyrie and Ye and a host of others, you know, I think it seemed like a lot of them ripped into submission. You know.
Yeah, man. I don't see nobody else as it's as though those people really ain't a threat. Like they really ain't the problem. You know, our people say that Ye is the problem. You know what I'm saying? Ye is saying those people are the problem. So which one is really the problem? Which one is really the architects and the masterminds of not only the transatlantic slave trade, but, you know, the system of keeping us down for the last 400 and something years? Who controls money? Who controls the money and who controls the media? What are those people? What do they call themselves? And that's going to answer your question right there. So it's enough land. It's enough, even if it's 8 billion people on the planet. The earth is so large, and the producing land, the fertile, minerally rich land that's around the earth is so much land that everybody on the planet can be multi-billionaire status or trillionaire status. So why are we living in poverty? Why are we sick? Why is there pandemics and mass diseases and illnesses and ignorance, when it's enough for everybody, each individual on the planet, to be wealthy? Why aren't we? So that's what Minister Farrakhan and Nation of Islam, that's the enemy we're exposing. That's who Ye and Candace Owens and other people is exposing. But Ye is just the most high profile, most financially successful black male descendant of slaves of North America that we have, especially that's in the rap, hip hop, and fashion industry. Ain't nobody else come close.
I ain't lying. I like the fact that he name dropping instead of, you know, a lot of times our people, we were like, well, you know, they.
Yeah.
But the fact that he name dropping, you know, he's like, he's putting it right in your face.
Right, and we can't respect that. We call that tearing down another black man. You can't win with ninjas for lose. You can't win. If you call out names, that means you hating on another black man. If you don't call out names, that means you subliminal, you scared, you sneak dissing or whatever. Like, so you can't win with ninjas. So you don't need to try. You need to win with yourself. You please the God and please your the God within yourself, being true to yourself, telling your truth. If you got an issue and you want to be transparent about who you got your issue with because you're a public figure, then speak on it. Put them on the hot seat. Put the pressure on them. Because if you putting the pressure on them because they put the pressure on you, then you justified. You know, the Quran say, I mean, from a Quranic standpoint, which is just the nature of the original black man, is say Allah hates the public utterance of hurtful speech unless it's by one who has been wronged. He don't hate hurtful speech against people talking against each other if the person that talking against you has been done wrong by that people or that person. Then you justified. That's called retaliation, or you defending yourself. But if I'm a martial artist and I practice self-defense to such a degree that my defense looks brutal, you know what I'm saying? You started something with me and you didn't know that I was a, well studied in defense. It's gonna look like offense. It's gonna look like a slaughter or a bully or just a melee or mayhem. And now I'm gonna get called the monster. You started it, but you didn't know what you was playing with. I finished it, and now the way I finished it was so horrendous and horrific for the people that was watching that they think that I'm a threat to society. Now they think I'm, no, you just was playing with something that you shouldn't have been playing with.
Exactly.
That's how God is. God is slow to anger, but once you get him there, he gonna wipe everything out. He wiping everybody out, and it's gonna look so brutal and so cold blooded and so final. You know what I'm saying? You can't blame it on the devil. Damn, when God take you out, that's the worst. Because you can't go cry to nobody.
Yeah, that's real, man. Because what's strange is what I hear a lot of people saying, well, Kanye, he messing up hip hop. And I'm like, seriously?
Yeah, but he messed up hip hop. Whatever happened to your people, man? They didn't. Nobody wanted to follow you over here and to accept my invite.
Yeah, one of the homies, he said he was gonna get down, man. I gotta see if I can. I'm gonna email him because he said he was gonna come over and debate you because he just, he disagreed with the Nation of Islam, but he said he don't want to debate you on that, but he definitely wants to smoke with Ye. I'm gonna email him and see if he'll pull up.
Yeah, man, definitely do that.
Yeah,
I want to talk about whatever you want to talk about. I'm just trying to spar. I just want to throw him. I just want to throw him.
I feel you.
And I want the people to see, and I'm not guaranteed with nothing, right? So that's how confident I am in my training. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't know you. I don't know what you know or none of that. I want to publicly spar and let the people see me get dropped. Let the people see what happened to me. That's pretty cocky, ain't it?
For sure.
Yeah, because you don't know, you don't know what different levels that you can step up to until you got that level of competition. So I don't want to look like a bully or a Mr. Know-It-All with people that clearly look like they got mental health issues, or they 5150, or they slow bus, short bus, whatever. I don't get no credit for that. I would love for you scholars to pull up, or whatever, experts or whatever they call themselves. That's what I want, especially if, you say you disagree about this, you disagree about that, you disagree about the nation. Well, I'm kind of like a scholar. I got my PhD in being a Nation of Islam member. You want to talk about rapper, Kanye and his position and this and that, and the rules of engagement when it comes to public speaking and what you should and shouldn't speak on or whatever. If you represent black or you making war with the enemy or you're revolutionary, I got a few decades in on that, so I want to put it to the test. Shit, I just want to put it to the test. DJ X1 question, Brother Cam, would you do a song with Ye? Because he do say some good stuff. Of course. That'd be my pleasure, because I know I'm a gas him up. I'm gonna say some stuff to make him try to outdo me, and it's and it absolutely won't get no commercial airplay, but it'll go global viral, because what I'm gonna say is, exactly the details that you don't want the public to hear. That'd be great. I think I'll will that. I'll will that into existence. Thank you, DJ X1. Yeah, I just was on my Johnny Cochran. I wasn't trying to even do no songs with him because I'm kind of burnt out on rap, on me trying to rap. If I come out for people that's so-called underdogs, you know what I'm saying? Oh, matter of fact, my brother, Madon, like, you know what I'm saying? People that, that's how God do. I'm a God, just like Ye is a God. God takes nobody, you know what I'm saying, and makes them defeat Pharaoh. He'll take a little stammering tongue, speech impediment messenger named Moses or Musa that don't have no confidence in himself and think that the enemy is gonna get rid of him or whatever if he say the wrong thing. And God say, no, I made your mouth and I'm backing you up. I know what you can do. I know who you really are. Here, take this and go say this. You know what I'm saying? That's what I like to do. Because I know none of these dudes can't fade me. But I like to get behind and back up my brothers that everybody act like they nobody. Oh, he ain't nobody. I don't know him. I don't know him. Like, all right. That's exactly who I'm looking for.
Hey, that's
no,
real,
no disrespect. I ain't saying that disrespectfully. I just know the value. Like God knew our value. Everybody else said we was despised and rejected and we wasn't good for nothing. We was niggas. We was mentally dead. But he seen that we was the most valuable material on earth. So he left all of the wise and the prudent men and women and all the upper class, whatever, and left heaven. He left the Holy Land and came and laid down and sat down on the curb in the mud with us niggas that everybody else destroyed. And he wept for us. And he said, I'm gonna make you my people, and I'm gonna be your God, and the world gonna come kiss your feet because of me. They gonna know that I have loved you. So I'm in that spirit. I don't care about everybody. If you're already on top and you the Goliath and all that, I'm not with you. I'm looking for Davids. I'm looking for all the little Davids to slide with. We going after Goliath head. Yeah. Eddie Brion's Stereotype is a dope track. Yeah, that's on my first album. Never Again. Stereotype. I think that was produced by Pooh, DJ Pooh. Salute. Shouts out DJ Pooh. Jabril said thousands of entertainers out there, but only one Ye. That's already telling you something. Yeah, all these thousands of entertainers ain't saying nothing against these Satans. Nothing against these small hats. And when you do say something against them, God gets behind you. God and his angels get behind you. That's why people so mad and jealous at Candace Owens and jealous at Ye. They're like, this nigga is a goofy nerd, like you said, a pink polo shirt wearing, fruitcake. And Candace Owens is a sellout, and but soon as you get the heart to go at the real beast, to make war with the real beast, God and his angels are assigned to promote and protect and support you and take your fades. I wish y'all knew that. I wish y'all had the heart and the testicles to understand that that's how it worked. You gain favor by the real God by going to war against his top enemy. He'll forgive all your sins, all your weaknesses, all your whatever if you sign up for that. That's what I do it for, because I know I'm a dirty little worm, and I ain't worth nothing. But my value comes from my testicles being down to do what Ye been doing. I've been doing that by Allah's permission for 35 years. 35 years. And that's why God preserves me. That's why you attracted to my energy or my spirit and it resonate with you, because this is you too. You too. Like, damn, y'all be pulling for people like me because I represent you. Like, damn, man, he ain't never got his just due and all that. Yes, I have. And just like you have. We have. I'm not banking in. I'm not, looking for nothing from this Satan world. I'm looking for this world to collapse. I'm trying to help this world collapse. Our reward is in the next system that's coming in a few days right behind this. I ain't worried about what these niggas is doing. These sellout 304 ladies of the night, ladies, you ladies of the night. I don't care about y'all tricks. I speak by Allah permission, and strengthen y'all. That's the angels and the real warriors and warlords, and y'all don't even know it. You don't even really know that you're really an angel of God and a warlord until you hear another person say the right word and blow the right trumpet, and you be like, you start beating your God chest. Like, damn, nigga, you speaking to my soul. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't get this in church. Nigga, I don't. So that's how you one of them ones. It don't got nothing to do with money and fame and none of that stuff. It got to do with do a God know how to speak your language and wake up your God fearless warrior, nature, to where you like, yeah, let's go do what Ye is doing. Where the other David's at? Who ain't scared to, put it on the line? You got a slingshot? Yeah, I got a slingshot. I only got one stone. I got an extra stone here. We just got stones. These niggas got nuclear bombs and all that. Nah, nigga, I got 2 stones up under my belt buckle. They call testicles. That's all I need. All I need is one. One smooth stone. It might be a little hairy or whatever, but all I need is one. And I'm going by Allah's permission. Yeah. Supreme Touch. Salute Adrian. Salute Adrian. Adrian X. Rich Mob. Eddie Brion's who produced In Traffic. In Traffic was Battle Cat. Battle Cat produced In Traffic 1995. And Howard Johnson was on that hook. Same Howard Johnson. Salute Howard Johnson, R&B legend. That, so fine. You blow my mind, hold your head back, leaning to the side. That's Howard Johnson, right? So he sung the hook on In Traffic. You can't see me. So salute. That's how far back we go with that relationship. Howard Johnson, Battle Cat on In Traffic, and then on the record, Trust Nobody. Battle Cat did that track, and Warren Campbell, gospel producer and artist, husband of gospel singer Mary. He's singing on that hook, the Trust Nobody hook, and Battle Cat did that beat. So all that's way back in 1995. Mm-hmm. Supreme Touch, peace to you, peace. Cam, who is that brother in the low rider with DJ Pooh in the car wash movie when they pull up in the car wash? Who, Solo? My homie Solo, or I don't really know that scene. You would probably have to refresh my memory. It's probably Solo though. Like the kidnapper, the one that played the kidnappers. Yeah, that's Solo. That's who play Franklin on Grand Theft Auto now. That's my homie Solo. Cam and Solo, they got nuts. I'm down with 8 and what's up. dark skinned giant, bruh. Yeah, that's Solo. That's who actually got, had the physical whatever altercation with Ice Cube and that whole thing about the W chain and all that. So that was Solo. One of my favorite songs by you is Peace Treaty. Yeah, that's definitely one of my favorite because it set the tone for what I represent. Blessed are the peacemakers. Peacemakers, not the tough guys. I'm not a gang banger. I'm not a gang member. I'm not a deleter of my own kind. I don't brag in that about that. I'm a conflict resolution, by God's grace, fearless soldier for Farrakhan. Peace, a peacemaker. I'm known as a peacemaker on these LA streets, waking black people up over gangster beats. I'm in traffic. Yep. So I don't want to be known as no violent, nothing about violence and no tough guy, nothing. But the streets talk. The streets talk. If I gotta talk, that means I'm desperate. I'm looking for clout, as they say. So either the streets talk or I ain't did nothing, and I'm cool with either one.
Hey.
What was you saying? Did you watch earlier any of the stuff? The older brother that had the glasses on. Did you watch any of that, Madonna?
Yeah, I caught some of you and the one brother. I fell in late with the brother. I think he had like the bald head or something. But the one brother you was asking the different question. He kind of you was asking him about y'all was basically going back and forth about was slavery a choice and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah, Rod. Brother named Rod. Yeah, so and now I just be trying to show improve and show patience and chip away and oil the locks and turn the key and oil a little bit and wiggle the key and oil a little bit and wiggle the key. You know what I'm saying? So and then just let the people see how I operate with certain mentalities. You know what I mean? Different mentalities gonna have me operate different ways. Temp say, Cam, do you own your masters? Yes. Yes, I own my masters. Matter of fact, anybody, if you've been in the game as long as I have, your masters automatically revert back to your ownership if you're still alive after 30 years or 35 years, from 30 to 35 years. So, but yeah, I own my masters because I only had 2 albums, well, 3. I don't own Camnesia. I don't own Camnesia master. I did, but I sold them. Yeah. Nate the Greatest, yes, sir. 3 Strikes, yeah, 3 Strikes movie. Yeah, but I fell back and I fell away from this rap entertainment business because for the same reasons that to me that it seems that Ye is having his issues with people in this business. If you put all of your hopes and dreams and heart and soul into this, you will absolutely be disappointed and brokenhearted. If you don't know and you don't figure out that no, real life and real success, real happiness and peace of mind comes from not being in this business. It comes from having a family or a relationship, with whoever God is to you, and righteousness and a loving, God believing family. Family. If you don't have family, what do you have? Family don't mean blood. Family don't necessarily mean coming out your loins or whatever. You can go adopt a family. But if you don't have no human beings to call your own family that you made, not that you're a sibling or offspring of, I'm not talking about a family that you didn't have a choice in. I'm talking about something that you make as a man. As a man, you and me have to make a family. We have to make something while we're here. something to show, something that's going to carry on when we leave, for after we gone. So that's my riches, that's my peace, that's my satisfaction. Being able to envision that and bring it into existence and work it and evolve it and cultivate it. That's greater than any money, any fame I ever do for you. Yeah. I see the little trolls. Wow, y'all getting serious.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Y'all going extreme with the troll, huh?
Man,
Uh-huh.
you don't stop.
But yeah, man, I'm inviting y'all. Yeah, I don't even think that was a she. That was a COINTELPRO dude. But yeah, there's the StreamYard link, man. Anybody want to hop on? But you said you saw a little earlier of me interacting with a couple of the bros. Did they make any points that you wanted to speak on that kind of stood out to you, or did they try to make any point?
Yeah, the one brother, he was trying to hold his ground, man. When he was like about the slavery was a choice, and then I guess he was going into the reason he didn't think what Kanye was doing would have an effect on black people or something like that. I can't remember all of it, but I mean, he was trying. I heard, I can understand a few of the points he made, but the way you countered it and broke it down, it kind of made it look like it was hypocritical. Well, maybe that's a bad choice of word, but it just made it look like the brother didn't think a lot of stuff out, and it made it look like he wasn't privy to a lot of what Kanye had going on.
Right. To me, our people right now don't really practice or exercise critical thinking. We practice doubt and suspicion and gossip and slander, but we don't actually qualify. We practice emotional gossip, emotional opinion, like opinion. Like we all got the right to our own opinion. Do we? Do we really have the right to our own opinion? You know what I'm saying? If my opinion is I think it's okay to do this to little boys. I think it's okay to take what belongs to you and say it's mine. That's my opinion. Do I have the right to that opinion? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or is that part of that emotional, anything goes, lawlessness that we trying to be politically correct in this society? No, you don't have the right to do what you want to do. You don't have the right to think or have that opinion. You know what I'm saying? So that's where that's where law enforcers come in at. We've been stripped of the respect for law and the respect for lawmen. You know what I'm saying? This rainbow liberal, so-called Democratic, whatever, rule book takes the natural manhood authority out of the home and out of the society. No, the only authority has to be the pink-skinned police officers or the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So no, you don't have the right to believe that. And if you think you do, then it's going to force a showdown. No matter what, a showdown is going to be forced. First, it's going to be a verbal, a mind war. Then it's going to be verbal, and then it's going to be financial. Then it's going to be physical.
Yeah. But it was good to see that those brothers jump on a panel and what I'm saying, and had a discussion. You know what I'm saying? I was happy to see that they told why they disagree with certain things and stuff like that. There's always a plus to like you said, to get the pushback.
Yeah, and if we claim that the enemy is the enemy, how are we supposed to go to war with him? If we can agree that this people that enslaved us are the enemy. Okay, can we identify who was the architects and the masterminds behind that enslavement? Can we identify them? And when we identify them, what are we supposed to do about it? You know, if we not prepared to physically retaliate, you know what I'm saying, with physical weapons, what is the weapon we supposed to do if it's not expose them? And expose them, then resist them, then pull back, separate from them, not integrate with them, not run to them and try to make a deal and try to get, you know, make love or whatever with the beast, make friends, make business partners with the beast. No, you're supposed to make war against the beast. Why ain't we willing to do that yet? We all claiming Jesus or Christianity or whatever. You identify who the dragon was, who the beast was. Why are you still hugging the beast? Why you ain't making war with the beast like Kanye is, like Farrakhan is, like other, you know, freedom fighters and revolutionaries are that ain't scared to say their name? That's all. That's what I want to know. Righteous by nature, 63 people. Yeah, salute. Hit the like button if y'all don't mind. If y'all, as y'all step in and before y'all leave, hit the like button. KM, salute.
Well, I was just gonna say, I guess it goes back to you know, like some say, they televise a lot of our revolutionaries getting deleted and all that. So it's like a lot of our people, I guess it seems safer not to say nothing. It seems safer to just, you know, sit back and just let bygones be bygones and stuff like that. I think a lot of people feel it's safer, maybe.
Well, that might be what they believe, but the pandemic should have taught us better than that. Being quiet, they know how to take you out for being quiet. It's actually not safer. It's not safer to be quiet, because if Farrakhan got up in 2020, July 4th, and told the whole world, don't take the Fauci juice, if he didn't say that, then millions and millions more would not be here right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it. That's safe. Safe is blowing the warning, the alarm. That's how you be safe. Your alarm works. Do your alarm work? That's as safe as you gonna get. You know what I'm saying? And we mad at the alarm. You know how we get. We want to break the alarm clock. Dude, this is disturbing my sleep. The house is burning though. I'm mad at the alarm though.
Man.
The alarm is my enemy.
Hey yo, that's amazing. Hey, that's real though, man. That is so real though. You know what I'm saying? It's like our people have, you know, it's like we've been a lot of our people just, I don't know what it is, man. I guess it is a spell. It gotta be a spell or just a lack of fight or we just gave up.
Kanye say it's a choice.
Oh yeah. Now that's a fact.
That mental slavery is a choice, right?
Yeah.
Because you know about the teachings, you know about the Nation of Islam that been in your midst since before your parents was born, and they was able to get through this life without submitting to none of that, this satanic, you know, races of system. So what is our excuse?
I think. And do you think, because you know a lot of people say, well, you know, America's openly free now. You can go to school, you can get your education, you can be whatever you want to be. There's no limit to what you can do, the heights you can reach in America. You know.
You can't even get it out right. You say it's no limit, huh? No limit soldier. Oh man.
You know, I hear a lot of old people that, you know, or a lot of people say that, you know, they were like, well, you know, America's openly free now. You can, the choice.
Oh man. We in a post-racial society. Big Zed, thank you, Big Zed, for the cash app. Man, Big Zed be holding it down for me, like on a regular basis. I'm a start. I need to come up with something, man. Y'all need to let me know what I can do for y'all on here, because I want to represent y'all that actually be, going out your way to help me on a Cash App, side of the game, on the actual financial little donations. I want to do something like special or custom made on a regular basis, even if it's just doing exclusive lives or exclusive posts just with us, talking about what we wanted to talk, what y'all want to talk about, or promoting whatever product or business or whatever. So help me, give me some ideas and whatever y'all want to do. Man, Same Day Parlay, thank you, Same Day, man. Hey, Same Day hung out with me but like 4 hours today. the same day he spent, or she, I don't know if he or she, no disrespect, I think it's bro King, hung out with me. I was on almost 4 hours today, and Same Day was there, what I'm saying, giving me a little encouragement, man. I'm saying, you doing good, man. You doing, you got a lot of patience, bro. Same Day Parlay, man. Thank you, Big Zed. Thank y'all, man. My bad, yeah, he. So y'all give me the inspiration to keep doing it, and that's why I be having to tap Madon too, because Madon like my little anchor, my little life anchor. You know what I'm saying? I be using it, no disrespect, no Disney, but I be using the shit out of Madon. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate him for letting me, bounce my little ideas of my quiet time off of him. I be putting him on the spot. So what you think, Madon? He'd be like, well, I wasn't even listening. Oh man.
Yeah, man. It's always good to build. I love building with black men, man, and just just sharing ideas and thoughts and getting inspiration. That's always a plus for me.
Right. Rod Dub, salute. Rod Dub. Temp, Madon said, do you think slavery can happen to us again? What do you think?
Nah, I gotta say no.
And because what?
I think low key, it's a lot of brothers that got that warrior spirit in them that it's just gonna come out. I think if they even try to attempt it, it's just gonna be so many brothers just that, hey man. I think too many brothers got a knowledge of self now. And sisters.
Well, it's a such thing called the penitentiary, right?
Well, yeah. You got a point on that one.
I didn't want you to go too far and shit without I didn't want you to take too much of this rope and and string yourself up. It's a such thing called the penitentiary.
Yeah,
so that is slavery again.
Yeah, that's slavery at its finest, man, for real. But yeah, when you look at it that way, it's possible. It's possible when you think about when you look at it from the side of penitentiary and not just outside picking cotton or peaches or plums or something. But yeah, like I said, penitentiary is packed right now. So it's
yeah.
And I heard brothers working for a dime, making license plates, and man, it's just sad.
Man, Jerome D say, can we in slavery now? Exactly. My point exactly. We in slavery right now. The job market is modernized slavery. We don't own our own property or anything, and they dictate the pay. Absolutely correct. We are at the mercy of a slave master's descendants. We are slaves in many aspects. If we in debt, if we owe any debt, if we in financial debt, we are in slavery. Debt is slavery. So it's not the same kind of slavery picking cotton, getting whipped like that in the cotton fields of the South. Chattel slavery, it's not that kind of slavery. Penitentiary is down there, that kind of slavery. But we in a more wickedly wise form of slavery today, like Jerome D. Thank you for the super chat too, Jerome. But Jerome, absolutely right. We are in slavery, and that's why the truth should make us free. We shall know the truth. So the slavery that we in has to do with the ignorance and the lack of knowledge that we suffering from. But the truth is a certain truth of who the enemy really is and who the God and who the angels and the righteous and the chosen people of God really is that's going to make us free from this slavery. And that's what's going on right now. Some people are gonna spend their whole life as a slave because it's that slavery, like Kanye said, is a choice. That slavery, any slavery today is a choice.
Definitely.
Jerome, modernize, keeping us bottom. The school system teaching kids nothing, right? Yeah, and that's why it's I can't promote. I got to be careful this ain't my page, but my children are homeschooled. I personally don't trust the public school system and the trauma and the toxicity that the students are spreading and sharing right now. The toxic, poisonous abomination is not the children's fault, but they getting it from their toxic parents, and they sending them to school with poisonous, self-destructive programs that automatically will affect or infect your children, like it or not. If you looking at public school teachers complaints these days, they crying, they breaking down because they saying you can't teach these children. These children will not listen, will not pay attention, will not learn. They so-called ADHD, or they behavioral issues. They so programmed by social media and cell phones and instant fast information. You know what I'm saying? They can't sit still in no classroom. They won't cooperate. They so emotional if they can't get what they want right there and right away. And then the devils took away the natural authority to be able to chastise them or punish them. So they just wild. You can't do nothing with them. They just wild. They like wild animals. Our children, this generation is like wild animals. I ain't gonna say they, we. My little brothers and sisters is like wild animals. And you know what you do with wild animals that can't be controlled, right? You go hunting. You cull them. You know what I'm saying? You make it legal to hunt them and depopulate them. Mm-hmm. Bro C said we are legal captives. Absolutely, legal captives according to Satan's law. DJ X1, I thought about homeschooling my son, but will you still have to take a test to get a degree? A degree? What degree do you need? And there's no disrespect, DJ X1. What degree do you need for what? The people that's millionaires, they're self-made. You make millionaires by entrepreneurship. You don't need a degree. That's still giving the slave master validation or power or superiority over you. No, you know how many YouTubers are millionaires now? All you got to do is make a few $1,000s and then on YouTube, and then go buy you some property or something. You don't need a degree to buy no property or to flip your money in a legal way, and then go find somebody else over here that know how to do taxes, or a black person that's an accountant, or a black or a brown person that's an accountant that know how to count your money that you trust, or know how to. So you don't need that's all a falsehood. That's all a fairy tale, yellow brick rose pipe dream. That's American pipe dream. I need a degree or a diploma. Absolutely not. We didn't have that when we came over here and built America. What diplomas did the slaves have when they built up the new world for the slave masters? Why do we think we got to go to them for some validation? Most of my wife is in the housing market. She deals with contractors and builders every day. And the builders of the houses are Mexicans. They don't come over here with no degree. They don't got no architecture degree. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So why do you need one? Why do you think you need one? Jerome D, right? I wish we all could homeschool. The teachers don't care. They tried to medicate my 6-year-old nephew. I babysit him. He's very normal. Yeah, they don't. It's not necessarily even the teacher's fault. The teachers is feeling like Kanye right now. The teachers is burnt out. They might have started with good intentions because I love children. I want to make sure that the youth have a future and all of that. But the system robbed all of us of the ability to be even a good teacher. It robbed the children of nutrition and the nutrients to be able to pay attention and be healthy enough to even retain information and sit still. It robbed the teachers of the spirit to even want to teach because they paying you peanuts. You may as well work at Walmart and McDonald's for the stress that you got to go through. And then the heartbreak because you got to come back over and over and day by day and see parents who gave up on their children and just throw them at you at some daycare while they go party and twerk and stick their tongue out and chase the bag and say you supposed to raise their children, and then they want to sue you or blame you if the children can't read or write. Yeah, it's all bad.
It's all bad. Man, that's so real. Because I remember I hear, if I'm not mistaken, I heard Trump was speaking on how, like, he was saying that public school wasn't something that was like mandatory at one time. It's like somebody just made it mandatory. Basically, I guess he was saying like it wasn't something that was needed, but they made it to be needed.
Yeah, they made it like criminal if you didn't do it.
Yeah.
So I seen somebody say like, say the black man invent the light bulb, the white man invent the electric bill. The black man, invent the such and such. The white man invents the such and such bill. They put a tax on it. They don't come with the actual creation or the invention and the brilliance and the gift of creating it. They find a way to tax it. They find a way to charge people for it. When God gave it to the inventor for free as a blessing, they intercept that. They hijack that and take that and charge us for it. They enslave us for it. Jerome said I just paid Mexican 7 G's to do my whole fence and they ready to rebuild everything. I agree, Cam. We are the educators and need to give our children's It's like if you know how to do something, if I know how to rap, my son might not want to rap, but if I'm a master in rap and I have these relationships, I don't care if this ain't what you want to do. You're gonna learn how to do this, son. You're gonna have this is your degree you're gonna have to fall back on. This is your resources and your relationships you're gonna have to fall back on. Learn this, learn how this works. I don't care if you want to or not, but then do what you want to do. Your passion is this, but then while you trying to make your way and make your own bones in your passion, you got my business that you can be making a living on in the meantime, or you can do them both. But if I know how to fix cars, my son's supposed to know how to fix cars. I don't need to send you to no college, no mechanic college. I'm the trade school. My garage is the trade school. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to determine whether you graduate by how good this car ride once you get out from up under it. I'm going to send you back. No, you got to fail. That's a fail. I can't pass you. No. We the teachers. We the authorities.
Yeah, that's a fact, man. That's so real.
Yeah. Rod Dub, you there?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Peace to you, brother. Peace to you.
Peace to you, Rod. What's your thoughts on this?
Spin facts right now, for sure. Hey, I 100% agree with you.
Do we need the validation of some student loan debt, university or college that for us to be qualified to be able to do something professionally?
No, not at all. Not at all. Like, and I took the college route, so I'm in debt. In that sense, you know what I mean, like I wish I would have took a different path. You know what I mean, like you said, like caught a trade or something like that. You know what I mean, because that wasn't a route. Like in hindsight, you know what I mean.
Yeah, and debt is slavery. That's a form of slavery. So people say, Cam, do you think we could be slaves again? We already slaves.
Right. Yeah, like I've seen a couple points bro were making. I mean, it's pretty much all facts. to me so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's we all got, like I said, we all got different viewpoints and ways of looking at stuff. But I like people that disagree, so we can hammer it out and come to an agreement. I don't want to just disagree for the sake of disagreeing. I like to see if I can agree with people, or we can come to some common ground, a common agreement. So that's what I'll be on here for. And then I'll try to settle on that part. I'll try to forget about the part we disagree about. Okay, man, we just banged this out and ironed this agreement part. Let's just operate off this part of this agreement that we made. You know what I'm saying?
So, and I'm the same way. And it was one point that I didn't get to touch on my last conversation.
But you
And
got the flow.
yeah, and I wonder what your thoughts on this is. So, in regards to Mr. West,
Mm-hmm.
um, when he said that his mom was sacrificed, or
Who
whatnot,
said his mom was sacrificed?
he did.
He said she was sacrificed. Who did he say sacrificed her?
I have to go get the clip to get the specific words, but he said that at one point. Do you believe that to be true, or what you think?
I don't. That's more likely than him sacrificing her. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the niggas is saying that he sacrificed his own mama.
Oh, okay. I see.
That's the rumor. That's the Illuminati accusations that they hitting at him with. That
Yeah,
these people is sacrificing their own loved ones to get in the club.
right.
He's
And it's
saying
like,
that his mama, he might have said his mama was sacrificed to send him a message or something, like to keep him in line or something, but he ain't saying
right,
he sacrificed his own mama.
right, for sure. And I'm just saying, like, did you believe that to be true?
It's possible. It's not about what I believe, but it's definitely possible. If his mom passed and the enemy, the CIA and the FBI know that that's his heart, and they already know his psychological profile, and they know that he did that very revolutionary type stuff, like saying George Bush don't care about black people during Hurricane Katrina. His mama was still alive, so they might have sent him a message or wanted to break him by doing something like that to his mama.
Okay. So we feel kind of the same on that. Like, I don't feel like he sacrificed her, but he said out of his mouth, um, to the effect that she was sacrificed.
Yeah, Jerome D said, Ye said they deleted his mom.
Right.
And
Okay.
Jam 7 say he said his loved ones were taken right in front of him. I attribute that to his mom. Yeah, so that's that was his heart and soul. That's all of our heart. Most of our, if you're a black male and you got any kind of natural relationship with your mama, even if she was faulty or whatever, you know her love was real, and that's your heart and soul. Your mama is your heart.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So for him, his mom to go out that way, and he said that she got sacrificed or taken out. I understand him. I understand why he would be this relentless in what he doing right now. Like, I don't care. My mom, if I believe my mom got took out like that by niggas that's or people that's accessories to that type of thing.
People in
If I
power.
think if I think I'm just examples, if he's speaking on Jay-Z or whoever else, or Diddy at the time or whatever, because he was calling Diddy a effing fed, you effing fed, you this and this and that and this and that. But now he's saying, I understand that they use such and such to try to get rid of you because of this and that. So he on the job training at his own expense. But
Feel that.
if somebody took my loved one out like that, I'm on crash out mission. I don't care about no Jay-Z or rapper or relationships. My mama gone, and I think they did it like that. No, I'm on their ass. I'm on their ass till they get me.
Nah, I can feel that 100%. And being that you have had experience in the industry, do you believe there's Illuminati? You believe that there is an Illuminati?
Well, Illuminati ain't really got nothing to do with the industry. You know, Illuminati just means illuminated ones, and if it's talking about Freemasonry or whatever, that's not just the industry. That's who rules the present world. The reason why white people are the rulers of the 7 continents is because of that secret fraternal brotherhood or organization that they call Illuminati, or what they call Freemasonry or whatever, which is the secret of the identity of God and devil. It's not religion, but it's the actual scientific, natural, provable identity of who God and who devils are, and the process that by which they came into power, how they used a science called technology against the original righteous black people of the planet, because that's the only place we was green and weak at. We wasn't familiar with lies and wickedness on that level. So this was a new race of people that's their whole get on. Their whole nature was that. And they had to be taught a science of how to capitalize off their wicked nature and their willingness to be cold-blooded predators and delete people and lie to them and steal them and rob them and all of that. So we actually taught them that science after we made them. So the God in the Bible say, I make peace and I create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So the devils came from God. God made the devil for his own purpose, and we not emotionally mature enough to want to question God about that. We want to get mad at the devil, but we don't want to get mad at God for making the devil.
All right. Okay. So with that being said, like Illuminati is just not like one form of people or one set of people.
Illuminati and Freemasonry is you heard of Freemason, right? The Freemason.
Yeah. I heard.
That's the same thing. It's just a secret fraternity, a secret organization of men, white men that keep the secret of how they came into existence, what their purpose is, how long they were to last, and what their plans is for us on the way out. On their way out, because they know that they only here for a limited amount of time, and they know that their time is up. So their job, they know they can't win against the God that made them, but their goal is to take as many of us, keep us blind, deaf, and dumb, and take as many of the gods out with them as they possibly can. So that's what it's all about: distracting them, using media and money to keep us distracted and keep us poisoned, intoxicated, keep us fighting and beefing with each other, keep us chasing money instead of chasing brotherhood and knowledge and love and unity. So that's what Illuminati really means. People try to make it seem like it's some spooky external entity, ghost power demon that can get into you. That's all lies. It's all a specific weak race of people on the planet that just have a superior knowledge of how to use wickedness, how to use deception. So like, say like Anthony Fauci, he got a real good knowledge and wisdom and understanding of viruses, but what does he use that knowledge to do? He don't use viruses to cure HIV or cancer, or they doing the opposite. They doing a gain of function research. They doing pharmaceutical. There you go.
Oh,
But that's called a Satan.
Okay, for sure. So do you feel like the Illuminati like runs the music industry?
I don't feel like they do. I know they do.
Oh, okay, so they do. Okay.
Yeah, of course they do. They run America. You know, the founding fathers was Freemasons, right? The Constitution, Declaration, and the Independence, all of that was crafted by Freemasons.
So yeah, I'm just trying to grasp where your mind was when it came to that, being that you did definitely have a experience in the industry and whatnot. Like,
yeah.
Some people be trying to like cover it up, like, man, ain't no such thing.
Well, that they say the biggest trick that the devil ever pulled off is making people think he doesn't exist, right?
No, that's facts. And it's like, I personally believe in it myself. Do you think there are any black people in Illuminati?
It's black Freemasons, but they don't get the real secrets. So it's compartmentalized. If you know anything about how the government work, you know, you got, you know, top secret, above top secret, eyes only, you know what I'm saying? Majestic 12, you got dark, you know, black shadow, off grid projects. So the black people that's black Freemasons, they don't know the secret. They don't get taught these secrets. They learned these black Freemasons learned these secrets about what they into from the Nation of Islam. It was Elijah Muhammad because Elijah Muhammad was a Freemason before he ever, you know, got taught and woke up by his teacher. So he, you know, he's the one that revealed to the world and revealed to our people the secrets of what Freemasonry really is about. Freemasonry is a, like I said, a secret fraternal order for the white race that has the secrets of how they came into existence, why they came into existence, what their purpose, what their time to rule is, and what their plans on their way out is.
White race.
The white race.
So, but that don't mean that there are some black people that are in Illuminati. So it's like, yes.
No, they can work. They don't know what they involved in. So it's a lot of people that work for the medical industry that didn't know that the Fauci juice that they was giving people was such and such, right? They think they involved in something that's noble and that's respectful and respectable and all of that. They don't know that they're working for Satan. They don't know that they're distributing, you know, something else.
Yeah, I don't know why folks thought that, but I'm with you. So
the same way with the Illuminati, it's black people that participate. They go to Harvard or they join this club or they join that, thinking that they prestigious and they, you know what I'm saying, they up there in high society or whatever. They don't know that they not getting the real teachings. They just there as a mannequin or as a what do you call that? I don't want to say the wrong word. Not a mascot. You know when they know they got a like a DEI hire, they got to make it look like it's equality.
Okay. And I'm gonna bring a name up because it come up in the same sentence a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jay-Z.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like that he's Illuminati, or you just like have any kind of?
If you don't mind, and this is all. How old are you, Big Rod?
44.
44. So I just want to give you like a practice, an exercise to try to practice with, you know, from now on. As a black man in our nature and our role, we should never ask another black man, do we feel something? We should always say, do you think? Feelings is emotions. Feelings and emotions is meaningless. That's worthless. That's why we get into trouble that we get, because we functioning off of feelings and emotions instead of off of knowledge, you know what I'm saying, and actual critical thinking. So do I think that instead of do I feel, do I think that
do you think that Jay-Z like is a Illuminati, like the chatter is, like how they say?
No, I think that he's aware of it. I think he knows that he can't be an Illuminati. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
A black person can't be an Illuminati because you're not from that race.
Okay.
Yeah, you can try to help them, or thinking that, you know, it's a lot of people that sell out and sell their soul to the devil, but the devil is a flesh and blood people. You know what I'm saying? And the devil came out of us. Right. So you know who the Nation of Islam says that the devil is, you know, scientifically speaking, genetically speaking, you know who we teach the devil is, right?
The man.
It's a certain race that we teach is the devil, right?
Man. Right.
Right. So that's scientific. That's not derogatory. That's just not name calling or emotional name calling. We prove it scientifically. Devil just means any live germ grafted from original. It's opposite of original. It's kept alive and it's diluted and spliced down and grafted out and grafted down into it's at its most recessive and weak stage. That's called devil.
Okay.
So if you're not that, then you can't be what they are. You can help them, or you can try to just get benefits and be weak and sell out and try to be with them, but you can never be them if you black.
Okay. I mean, it made sense. It made sense. And again, this is strictly just like internet chatter. You know what I'm saying? When it comes
Yeah. No, I heard it. Of course, I heard that my whole career, and I've been having to explain that the whole time. And Jay-Z got knowledge of self. Knowledge of self means, knowledge of the Nation of Islam. If you ever seen him wearing the 5%er, the 5% medallion, that means knowledge of self. He knows that the black man is God, and he knows that the opposite of that is the opposite of that.
For sure. Do you feel like he's been propped up to be like one of our top, I guess, people to like look up to in a sense?
Yes. Yeah, he has been, because they seen his psychological profile, or they seen what he's willing to do, and what as far as like people say sacrificing. We are willing to sacrifice our own people in a lot of cases. It don't mean that you're doing something to them, doing violence to them, but you leaving them out to dry. You leaving them for DZ. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that the enemy has plans to do this to them and do that to them.
Yeah, like you doing that to like get put in a certain position.
Yeah, and if you messed up, like, so this is how most of us get caught up with these Satans. We wind up not really knowing, like, we might not have had no girls growing up, or we might have been getting dissed by females, or we might be considered ugly or whatever growing up, and females wasn't messing with us. And then we get some money and fame, and then then the enemy, CIA or whoever, starts sending bad ones at you. And then they, especially in the fashion world and the fashion models and Paris and all of that, that's where freak offs and all that really originate. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing but drugs and the highest class alcohol, the most expensive alcohol, the most designer drugs, the most baller scenery, you know what I'm saying? Beachfront property or high rise, this and that. And then you got the so-called baddest females on the planet that's freaking you and freaking themselves. But they doing it with controlled substances. So now they slip you some controlled substances, but then they got a camera in there because you didn't know that they were sent to you to get you on tape. And now you wake up tomorrow and you see all kind of dudes in your back door, tapes of you, doing all kind of stuff while you was getting over freaked and you didn't know you was getting over freaked. Now you finna play ball.
Right. Yeah, that's tough right there. But like, and it's funny because like the majority of the people in the rap game, they strive to be like him or successful like him. And I don't look up to him, you know what I'm saying, like in that manner, but like he was given, like, do you feel like Illuminati gave him power or he gained it himself?
Well, you can't have no power if you a solo ninja. You got to have an army. Like, power is not an individual. Like, why? Of course they gave it. Like, if you black and you going against their program and you trying to be independent of them, what's stopping them from just wiping you out?
None at all.
So what stopped? If you're familiar with Muhammad Ali and Nation of Islam, when the mafia tried to make Muhammad Ali throw a fight. This is in history books. They came to him and said, "You better throw this fight, or we gonna blicky out your knees." Right? Then he went to his leader and to his nation and his army, and he went to his commander in chief, the messenger of Allah, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and said, "Dear Holy Apostle, these Italian, these mafia, whatever dudes came at me and said, if I don't throw this fight, that they're gonna blicky my knees. And then he said, you go tell them that they got knees too.
Sure.
Right. So that's if you don't have an army, then you don't have $1 billion. If you don't have an army, and what's stopping them from taking it?
And none.
You'll know if you got $1 billion or not when you try to do something for your people independent of them. When you try to go against them and spend your billions your way for your own people or for yourself, something that's outside of their control, then you're going to know whether or not you got $1 billion or not.
Oh, that's facts. That's facts. So pretty much, long as he stay in line, he go be.
We'll let you keep that billion in your account. It's not your billions. You know what I'm saying? It's Debo's billions. We just letting you keep. It's kind of like both of ours. You just keep it in your bank account. You could just say that is yours.
Okay, and that make a whole lot of sense. And it kind of like what I was saying as far as like with Kanye money, it's somebody money, like it's his money, but somebody.
Well, Kanye is affiliated. Kanye is affiliated in damn, I don't know why that big echo is going on.
Somebody else song?
No, it's something in your background that's making a lot of noise. But Kanye is affiliated with Minister Farrakhan, and Minister Farrakhan advises him. He don't always take his advice, but his brothers, his FOI that do Kanye's security. FOI, Fruit of Islam, secure Ye. You know what I'm saying? So if anything happened to Ye while on our watch, then they're gonna have to deal with something else.
Are they around him like now, or just like when he like
whenever he choose? So that's up to him. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. If he's fearing for his life or whatever, I don't know. I can't speak on that. And even if I knew, I wouldn't, divulge no military strategies or nothing. But I'm just letting you know that people are like, well, what happened? What about Ye? Who's with Ye? We with Ye. That's why I'm speaking up for him.
I rock for Ye, like for sure. It's like some of the stuff he do, I just think more like for like shot value or whatnot. But as long as it message get through, I guess it cool.
Yeah, and it is what message that we talking about. So we don't support his messages about all this wild, crazy, freaky, whatever stuff he be on. We can only support this. If he start pushing that other line, then he on his own. We know better that we can't defend no BS.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What's up, man? I appreciate you for letting me up, and I don't want to hold up too much time on this one. Somebody else.
It's all good, Rod. I appreciate you for showing back up and not hoeing back up. You know what I'm saying? So you're the example of how anybody that don't agree with me just pull up. It's probably gonna turn out to be on some respect level at the end, and I'm glad you proved that. It don't mean we agree with everything, or you don't agree with me, but we still gonna find something that we can agree on. And I'm gonna show you respect, and I'm gonna show you love, and you know what I'm saying, just for having the patience to bump heads with me. So I respect that.
No, they're real, man, and you definitely go see me falling through again time to time.
Man, all right, Big Rod. So till next time. Peace. Salute. Madon, you there?
Yo, so.
Uh-huh. But yeah, he made some good points and brought up some good questions. So hopefully I answered them. Did it spark any questions, that you wanted to elaborate on regarding Illuminati or Jay-Z or anybody in the industry or what Ye going through?
Yeah, it definitely sparked a lot of things, man. It made me think, because I remember in '98, I was still in high school. The brother Sway from Sway in the Morning.
Oh yeah, Swaying Tech.
Yeah, he had put out a CD called Tupac in His Own Words, and on that, you know, Pac was saying how when he was in jail, people was telling him about this Illuminati. So he said that's why he was coming out with the Illuminati, because he was killing it basically, or whatever he was talking about. So after he was dead. He was brother was resting in peace by that time, but in '98. But it just made me think, like, now it's like, how like within like the last 10, 15, 20 years, the Illuminati talk got real big, and it's like it just made me think, like, damn, Pac was kind of ahead of his time on it, or he was just more privy or something.
I don't think so. I think this is my personal opinion, because I know where he got all of that stuff from, and it's really the Satans that use his words as diversions. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that he's seen something coming, is that they seen what he was saying, and that's a good thing to promote. Tupac was saying Illuminati, let's push that as though it's some separate such and such or so and so. You know what I'm saying? Because you had Alex Jones, you had William Cooper, Behold a Pale Horse, you had ISIS Papers with Francis Cress Wilson, May Allah be pleased with her. So it's a lot of people that was already talking about that stuff, but the devil keeps their ears to whoever got the attention of the youth in the streets in the rap game. And so if he's saying something like that, then okay, yeah, let's push that, because he ain't saying the J word. He's not saying the Ashkenazi J word. He's not calling us out by name. So yeah, let's push that mysterious Illuminati, who knows who they really are type stuff. They love that. They don't want you calling their name out specifically. So Pac wasn't calling no names out specifically. He was just keeping it a mystery demon organization or something like that. Nah, they love that.
Yeah, you're 100% correct, man, because our people went haywire once the internet came out, and people, the Illuminati this, Illuminati that, and it was like this big boogeyman, you know what I'm saying, or the spook, or that you never see. So I agree with you on that for sure.
Yep, Dog Walk Rehab, Boule is what they call it, the black Boule, the bougie Boule, they call them sellouts or ghouls. If you ever seen Blade, remember Blade with Wesley Snipes? He had the vampires that was real vampires. Then they had their little ghouls, Deacon Frost and shit. And he's my ghoul. He got my little tattoo on the back. That's what Boules is like that. They like little underling minions for the real Satans, to give little benefits. Of Scooby snacks that fall from the Satan table, they get rewarded for helping corral or piper our people into their traps and stuff like that. Jerome say, I think Pac was like, Illuminati exists, but my people killing each other. How could we focus on that when we killing each other? They don't care about us, right? So it wasn't really, Pac wasn't really pushing it like that. Like I said, it wasn't until Pac passed that they seen the chatter, and then they just picked up on the chatter and sent it in their own direction. They used the chatter and redirected it, in the direction away from identifying them. Good. We ain't gonna call out our names. We're not gonna call out, BlackRock or Vanguard or George Soros or something by name. We just gonna call them niggas the Illuminati, and they just a mystery, demon worship, paranormal, supernatural, whatever. They love that. No, we got to bring all that down to earth. They weak, little, grafted, recessive human beings that just got information about sciences of the original man that had been hidden from us. Our own knowledge and wisdom and power about ourselves has been hidden from us, and they've been taking advantage of it. They study our stem cells, they study our placentas and our melanin and all of that. We don't know, because we've been flatlined and destroyed for 4.5 centuries, but they've been retaining and studying and benefiting off of our DNA and our genetics and our abilities and our inventions and all of that. So that's all illuminated means, the illuminated ones. That means they see the light. They have the light or the wisdom of who we really are and who they really are, but they're not going to tell us. They're gonna keep the light from us, even though we are the light. We the children of light, but they're not gonna let us know that. So that's the Illuminati, but we are the illuminated. We are the lights. And they can't tell you that. That's why it's called a secret fraternal order, a secret society that you can never reveal that secret about the original black people, or you know, or your dome would get taken off, and your bloodline would be cut off. Your lineage would be cut off. That's the consequence of revealing the secrets of the secret society. Not just you would pay with your life. Your whole lineage, your whole bloodline would be cut off.
Right. Yeah, our people, they definitely took it and ran with it. Cause I remember, man, for a few years, anybody rapping was Illuminati.
Right.
That's how they was painted. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what?
And that's just another thing to make us lose sleep and be scared. You know what I'm saying? Scared of the dark and having nightmares. Like that's the goal and the agenda of these people is to make you believe that some god or some devil, demon, whatever exists that's greater than you, that's above, out of your control, that could just pop in and take over you whenever it feel like it, and you just lucky to get through the day without getting consumed shit by some powerful demon spirit. You know what I'm saying? They just make you live on pins and needles, like in fear and terror, and keep you stressed out to where you can't never, you know, enjoy life. You constantly living in fear, and then you finally say, well, you know, it'll be all right in the sweet by and by after I die. We won't have to worry about this, because then we'll be ghosts too, and we'll be with the ghost lord, and we won't have to worry about that.
Oh man. Oh man.
It's cold.
Yeah, it's cold. That's the mentality of a lot of our people, man. That's cold.
And that's the wicked science of manipulating a whole people mentally, lying to them so thoroughly united in their science of lies and their doctrines and all of that, that you tell a lie enough, long enough, then people is going to believe it to be true, and it's not going to be contested. We own the media. We globally are deceiving the whole world, telling the same lie over and over and over for generations and generations, until eventually you accept it as fact. You accept it as gospel, as is in stone. It always been like that. It always been like that since the beginning of time. You know, niggas is quick to say since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Like, nigga, what?
Yeah, lying, man. He tried to stretch it as long as he could. For real, man.
Robert Epps said they was afraid where Pac was going to go with the Illuminati, and so they got rid of him like they did Easy before that New Conscious NWA album that was to come out in 95. Yeah, I don't know about all of that. I just know I was there. I knew all of them. I was an FOI before they was all of that. I was used by God to influence them and wake them up to all of these subjects. What they did with that information and with that access to the Brotherhood or access to Farrakhan or whatever, that's their business. But you are hearing from one of the top star witnesses of God in your generation to the hip hop world. The little brother that that you're listening to right now is a star witness of the true and living God, of your favorite biggest rap stars of our generation, of our era. I can't speak on the youngsters of this generation, but I can speak on their parents. Their parents was influenced and affected by what God had us doing, and whatever they chose to do or not do, and produce little Sexy Reds and little Glorrillas and little Megan Thee Stallions or whatever. That's what they chose to do. But they knew about it. They knew about it. Dog Walk Rehab. K Reno is the GOAT. he one of my goats. You know, I wouldn't say goat. I'll say lamb or lion. K-Rino is a beast, a righteous beast. One of my favorite rappers of all time. Of all time. Y'all probably don't know him, but he out of Houston. He out of Texas. And the reason why you don't know him is because he's that much of a beast, at least for my generation. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know what the youngsters, the mumble stuff or whatever they into now, but my generation where lyrics really meant something, he was that guy. Like, you know, and no disrespect to Scarface and none of that. You know, I love Face, but I don't love him, you know, more than K-Rino. K-Rino, because of his content, because of his knowledge of self, his wisdom, his gift. That's the coldest bro out of that section rapping, period, to me. K-Rino.
Yeah, I
look him up.
I had to agree on that, man. I remember I was living in Fort Worth at the time, and my homie put me on the K-Rino. I think it was probably about 2003, maybe 2004. And man, he made me feel like I thought I was conscious. I thought I was a conscious political, you know what I'm saying, black political rapper. But when I heard this brother K-Rino, he made me feel like I was so far behind time. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as the knowledge and wisdom, I was like, oh man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he cold. He cold. Rod Dub say, wait, so did Illuminati eliminate Tupac and not the Keefe D theory? No, we talking about two different eliminations. So before we get eliminated physically, we get eliminated mentally. You know what I mean? So if somebody is able to you know, kill your righteous movement, your righteous inspiration. If you was known for Brenda Got a Baby, and you was known for Keep Your Head Up, and you was known for, you know, positivity, you know what I'm saying? And then you went to my fofo and make sure your kids don't grow. That means the Illuminati got to you mentally. And then you started acting out. You got the mark of the beast now in your forehead. So now you're going to act it out with your hands, and you're going to be in Vegas with some people that you shouldn't be in Vegas with, doing some stuff that's not righteous. And you think you're going to stomp out a little hitter from Southside Crip, from Compton Southside Crip. And that is how you get took out. But it starts with what affected your mind for you to even get yourself in that situation.
Yeah, it was definitely a tragedy, man, because I remember I was like 13 years old when I first heard Tupac, because I had older brothers that was around his age. And like, the content of like Tupac now and the messages, it was like, and then it was like, I don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? It was like, damn, he was like, so like, you know what I'm saying? It was like, but I know what happened, but it was just like, you saw like I was like, damn, hot, man.
I mean, our trial, you know, our test in life as Black people has up until this point has been poverty and hell, but we haven't been tested with fame and luxury and wealth and money. Once you get tested with fame and luxury and wealth and money, then that's a trial and a test that most of us ain't familiar with, and we don't know what we're going to do. We don't know if we're going to go crazy. We don't know if we're going to get a God complex or a Godfather, mafia boss, gangster, so-called gangster, tough guy complex. I'm Teflon Don. I'm untouchable. You know what I mean? You start dabbling and experimenting into some waters that you're not supposed to be in. And you don't realize that it's dog eat dog. This is the animal kingdom. You're not from this terrain. You know what I'm saying? You could be a revolutionary, and you got your focus on the real enemy. But once you start getting in, I'm gonna, you know, stomp out another, you know, they only take one. Only take one false move when it comes to that. You step on the wrong bear trap, that's it. And that's what happened. And so, you know, like I said, we used to talk, you know, we see each other every few months or so or whatever. And he'd let me know what he was going through and what he was working on. And, you know, he wasn't happy with what he did. He wasn't happy with the music that he was making over there on Death Row. He wasn't happy about that. He was leaving. I know that for a fact. You know what I'm saying? And he wanted me to do some stuff with him. But that Vegas thing happened, and that was it.
Yeah, man. That was a great learning lesson. You know what I'm saying, for black men, man. Like, you definitely just gotta watch who you run with, man. Real.
Mm-hmm. Robert Epps say MC Ren and Cube was definitely Nation of Islam in 94 and 95 before Easy passed, and they was scared that NWA was going to mix that Nation of Islam consciousness with gangster rap. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I wonder who Allah used to make that happen. But yeah, but I'm in my 50s now, so used to be's don't make no honey. I'm on here doing this with y'all in real time. This is what I'm up to in 2025. But by God's grace, I ain't getting no dumber. I ain't getting no slower. I ain't getting no less magnetic or less effective. It's just you have to adjust to the terrain. If we see that they been had the yellow cones and the roadblock signs out for me for 30 some years. My job is to be wise enough to look, well, let me find a little young Candace Owens. Let me find a little young Kanye, a young Ye, or Kyrie Irving, or somebody, or Nick Cannon, or somebody that, that's willing to actually say something against these people. And I'm gonna use my resources, and I'm gonna use my voice and my influence or whatever on whatever level to promote them. Why you promoting them, Cam? Oh man, they niggas ain't blah blah blah. Well, you ain't got my walk. You ain't been through what I've been through. You don't know the enemy like I do. You don't know the talents and the gifts and the signs that God gives me, or who I'm supposed to put my support behind. You can't tell God where to put his message. You know what I'm saying? Just because you don't like him.
Man, I know what I wanted to ask you about Pac.
Mm-hmm.
Did Pac get that? Y'all Don't Hear Me Though. Did he get that from you? Because didn't you have a song called Y'all Don't Hear Me Though?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering, did he get that from you, or was it just a thing y'all was saying on the West Coast?
Well, I mean, we were saying it, but it's certain people that used to start them certain slangs. Just like E40, E40 was known for, and Mac Dre was known for, originating certain slang. Well, E40 was known for us being the first person to hear certain slangs from the Bay that Mac Dre and other people from them cliques was coming up with. So in LA, we had our own words, our own street slang words also. And your brother, who you listening to right now, was a author of many of them. You know what I'm saying? I won't go into it, you know what I'm saying, because that's so-called clout chasing. But if I get pressed, somebody press me, then I'm talking about some one of my rap peers. That's why they don't really say nothing against me, because they know my contribution to their success, to their image, to their safety and well-being.
Yeah, that's real, because the other day I was watching the because I heard a few interviews of yours about the history of the W sign and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching the home opening of the Dodgers, and it had Cube on there. And then I think he came in with the 6-4, and it was like, everybody throw your dubs up.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yo, that's big, man. Like, that's amazing how time, that's still so relevant.
Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful though. So if just like Ye, if Ye knows his global contribution, if he knows certain things that he originated and certain things that he spread and made popular, made globally viral, then whether he speak on it or he don't speak on it, he knows it's confirmed for him. He knows his influence. He knows his power, his impact. He knows that he has global influence whenever he decides to put his mind to something and decide that I'm gonna set a trend. I'm gonna make a trend just like the small caps do. They get in them think tanks and they decide what the trends is gonna be for the next 10 years. We do that too. We do that too. We do that better than they do. If we decide, man, I'm gonna make this the new thing, then we all we got to do is make a rap song, a hit rap song, then make a dance or make a whatever or a saying that goes along with it, or throw up a sign that goes along with it, and it's off. It's out of here. It's around the globe.
Yeah.
So I done did that many times, and nobody knows certain things. That's even nobody don't know that it came from me. So it's not for me to I know how it works. So it's not about getting no credit. It's just about, okay, if that's how it works, did I get weaker, or do I even got more knowledge and wisdom and understanding and how to apply it now than I ever did before? And if so, let me test it. Let me put it to the test. Because if the devil's greatest trick is to make it seem like he don't exist, then that God is making it even, he even got his hands, he looking invisible. Niggas is saying they atheists. That's how much God can make it seem like he don't exist. Niggas is claiming to be atheists these days.
I feel you, but I think when ninjas know in their heart, when they know what sort of stuff come from, to me that's like it count a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? When they know in their heart, where this derived from, even though the masses may not know.
But that's where frustration comes from, because people are thieves and they plagiarizers or whatever. They'll take credit for something knowing it came from you, and knowing that they had the resources or the ability or whatever to put it out before you, and now they get the credit. They get praised as being the one that's known for this and known for that, and they're gonna never tell you where they really got it from. And then when the person, if the person do speak up and say that you got that from me, then they mute. They Helen Keller mute button. Everybody get to denying stuff and making up stories, or they just won't address it at all. So that's what Kanye be frustrated about when it comes to people giving him his credit on his level.
Yeah, man, that's real, man. It's a dirty game, man. That's a dirty game.
Yeah, well, it's just a dirty people. It's a dirty system. It's not the game. The rap game or the music game, that applies to every field of life or business in this wicked satanic system. Rod Dub, you said you had something you wanted to. Oh, my bad. Hold on.
Yo.
There you go.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, man. Like when y'all was talking, it made me think about this meeting that I heard about with Crazy Bone.
Mm-hmm.
He had like he had an interview out on YouTube, and he was talking about like this meeting with a lot of powerful people.
Oh yeah, the meeting that destroyed hip hop, destroyed a generation.
Right. So you familiar with that story, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's like I believe I could see that like 100% like happening, and you know what I'm saying, and it manifested itself like through the industry as well. And as far as like Tupac, when he was saying like Illuminati, I feel like he was trying to take down those type of people in power in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of similar to like what Kanye doing. They got like different methods, of course. But my question is like, what can we do as a people to actually like kill that whole just narrative, or you know what I'm saying, like exist without the need of their help?
That's what the nation been doing for 95 years. We are the example, and what we do is what we're doing right now. Just keep on blowing the trumpet, and keep on sounding the alarm, and having conversations like these. Because at a certain point, or the certain point already has come, these people gonna let us go. You know what I'm saying? Where they say, "Let my people go." Well, they actually already let us go. We not letting them go. We holding on to them. We want to integrate and vote and become politicians and mix in with their system and all that. When it ain't never worked and it never will work. And the last consequence, the very most recent consequences you got from that is the Fauci situation. The people that you believed in and you trusted and voted for, especially black women, you didn't even give your baby daddy a second chance, and y'all got a child together, but you're gonna give Biden a second chance and go vote for him to rule you for 4 years, and then obey his partner, Satan Fauci, to put Lord knows what in your bloodstream. You know what I'm saying?
Nasty work.
Nasty work. Nasty work.
Very nasty work.
So
But
that's why I was asking you earlier, though, who looks worse, Kanye or us?
from that perspective, I'ma say us.
Yeah, I'm saying
I'ma
there's no
say us.
contest,
And it's
no question.
like he don't represent me, but he is
Why he
like,
don't represent you? Why Ye don't represent you?
I can't even say that. That kind of cap. I can't even say that like that. That's cap. But how can I put it? Like, because he does have like access to billions, and there are other people that also have access to billions as well. Um, do you think that they should kind of pool their money together and come up with a solution, or should we come to them with some kind of solution? Because I'm about solutions at the end of the day. And you know what I mean, like the problems for us is just getting worse and worse. I mean, you getting locked up, killed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and these are people that like are in the music industry or have access to money that some of us never will have. I
So why
mean,
why do you think they don't choose to agree to get together with other rich, like-minded black people and build something for ourselves? Why they don't do it?
and
That's the solution. Why they don't do it?
if I had like some type of access to that level,
Uh-oh.
hello.
Yeah, you said if you had access to that level of what?
Oh yeah, if I had level like to that, like access of those type of people, I would probably have like a better like answer. But
Well, no, I'm saying why do you think they don't do it? If they, like you said, you pointed out the problem, and you actually pointed out the solution. So my question to you is, you know, especially from the South, because most of the ones that's really getting money right now is from the South, the little young rappers. Why the young rappers rather slide on each other than get together and put their money together and actually build something independent?
from what I see, it's the music that's being pushed and what the majority of the kids like look up to. I mean, not saying that it's like right or anything,
Right.
but
So who's
that's
pushing
a
it? Who's rewarding them with riches and fame and TV award shows for making that kind of music?
the same people that's
That Ye is exposing.
turn yeah, and the same people that turn around and take us out in a sense as well, which is like messed up. Like, when does it end? Like, how do
It ends when we expose it. So it's Ye exposing it. It ends when we expose it.
Right. And so now that it's exposed, like what do we do? Like
Is
do we
it
do we
exposed?
do we? I mean, you said that.
No, I said he's exposing. He's exposing it. Do that means that our people is listening? How hard are we trying to make our people listen to what he's saying? Just like I spent 4 hours a day trying to make you listen to who he's exposing and what he's doing. It took 4 hours, right?
Something like that.
Right. Well, I'm just saying. So that's the work. The work is you got to stay on your people and try to help them to see who the real enemy is and who we supposed to be focusing our anger at. Not other nigga, other black folk. Not other rich black folk that I'm jealous or like I'm better than you. I'm better, I'm broker than you broker than me. Oh, you broker than me. Like, why we need to do that when the people that is the real enemy is paying y'all to beef with each other. They rewarding y'all for making that type of stupid, foolishness music.
Right.
So you're not gonna get mad at the people that's giving you millions, right? So that's how they insulate themselves. That's how Satan insulate himself. I'm gonna make you rich. You're not never gonna get mad at me. You're gonna get mad at niggas, you know what I'm saying, for being jealous of each other because he trying to get more money from me as Satan, and then you trying to get more money, so you want me to promote you and you want me to promote you, but neither one of y'all is looking at me as the root of the problem because I'm the one paying y'all.
I hear what you're saying. That's not my point of view, per se. Mine is more so like so we don't have to be under their control anymore. So we maybe like not need their money or not have to go to them for everything. Can we create something for ourselves, like truly, like just an
But
example,
we
like
always do. We always create something for ourselves and then we sell it. We sell it or we let them people take it. Didn't BET used to be us? Didn't Soul Train used to be us? Didn't, all kind of independent black record labels used to be us? We were selling our music out the trunk. We automatically owned all our masters because we was the ones making everything. Why did we sell it to them? Because they had the big money. Like I said, they gonna bread you out. They gonna cash you out right there on the spot with a check you ain't never seen before in your life. That's how they twist you. They print the money. They faces on the money. They can print up as many of them piece of papers as they want to make niggas do whatever they want them to do.
okay, and you are correct on that. And when you speak on those people, I'm like on that level, like the shoot 'em up, bang bang types.
Mm-hmm.
They have money, but I'm talking more so people that are on a Kanye or Jay-Z like level that has money to actually like move something, like actually like make something for ourselves, like maybe like LeBron's school. That's like something that he created for us. But as far as like Kanye and Jay-Z and those type of people, like a label that just like strictly funded by them possibly and don't have to necessarily push that agenda.
Well, business is warfare, right?
That's facts.
So business is warfare. What will happen if you try to come up with a cure for cancer that's natural in your backyard and you prove that it's natural? What do you think the $1 trillion pharmaceutical industry mafia or whatever is going to do with you?
Take me out.
Unless you got an army, right? So why aren't these multi-billionaire black people willing to join on with their own black nation or black army? Why are they not willing to do that?
That's a good question. Like,
Can we force them to do it?
no, not at all.
Right. So it's going to come down to their choice, right?
Can we suggest it?
It's already been suggested their whole career. Everybody knows about Farrakhan. Are you familiar with Minister Farrakhan and all of the hip hop summits that have been going on for the last 30 years?
Somewhat.
Yeah, that's the main thing that's always been pushed. That's the Million Man March was all about that. You familiar with the Million Man March?
Yeah, I was in high school when it happened.
Yeah, so all of that's something we all know all about. So why ain't we choosing to do that? Why do we choose to not submit to righteous military line structure and build something and come together like an army? Army, like we know how to be little pocket little individual rebel soldiers in our hood or our section or whatever. We know how to do that against each other. Why we can't do that for each other? Why don't we choose to do that for each other like the Nation of Islam do? Like the nation been doing since 1930. So I'm not just talking about something. I'm a product of it. Why? Just like yourself. There's no disrespect, but if you know about that, why? What's keeping you from being a member of the Nation of Islam?
Nothing really. I got a few friends in the nation. I've been to the mosque with them like back in the day,
Right.
or
But I'm
whatnot.
just saying, like, because I rock with you, but I'm just saying, why won't you officially do that? The same thing that's stopping you is what's stopping multimillionaires. You saying, well, why they just don't get together and do the same what reason you don't get together and just be with your nation?
That's a good question. I'm gonna have to think on that.
I
But
mean, 'cause you got your reasons, right? You want your freedom. I don't want, man. I ain't really in the discipline. I don't want to be responsible for this and that. And they feel the same way with their billions.
okay, and that makes sense as well. But so it has been suggested, like to these people, or
Yeah,
that
they
have
know.
access to this money.
Everybody knows already. Everybody loves Farrakhan. They claim they love Farrakhan. Everybody claim they love black and unity, and we need to do for self. But they not putting they in the they not putting their money where their mouth is, and we not forcing them because this got to be a voluntary thing. Like if you think you can survive without this army, without this protection, without this unity, then that's on you. We
Okay.
didn't see them all come and go. Nobody makes it. Nobody makes it. Nobody survives. But are you different? Okay, you think you different? Okay, well, we'll see.
Mm, okay. So so I guess they're not necessarily feeling like y'all's ideals as far as like building the army.
No, they want to benefit from the army. Otherwise, they wouldn't all call FOI security every time they make a move. They don't want to be disciplined themselves. They don't want the discipline on their life. They want to benefit and be able to pay money for our discipline to benefit them or protect them or whatever, but they don't want to do it.
Mm, okay. So
So
like
do you want to be one of those? Because our people don't have to be billionaires to be guilty of that same thing.
for sure. And I'm more so like just try to be as righteous as I can. I attend like a
No,
non-denominational church.
I'm not saying I know you righteous. I know you. I can tell your energy and your vibe. I can tell you've been through hell. That's not in question. Your righteousness is not in question. We're talking about why you won't choose to add your righteousness and add your warrior experience with other brothers like myself officially to where we moving like a solid wall. Why don't we do that? Why do we want to just be left alone and on our own little island to do whatever we want and we don't have to have no discipline on us?
I honestly like never like thought about it, but I will for sure. Like, cause like I said, I'm definitely intrigued, and like you extremely knowledgeable, like you like a whole legend, like I'm actually like speaking.
And I'm your brother, and you more important than me. So to me, you more important than me. So why, what part of it is scary? What part is like a Jim Jones scam? Like what part of the Nation of Islam history has proved that you shouldn't mess with it? They killed Malcolm X, or Elijah Muhammad has some children, something like that. Prove it, please prove it. Show it and prove it, because we done went through that for decades and decades, keep on proving, and now that 50 years later, at the Freedom of Information Act, the FBI files is open, and Malcolm X's own daughters and family then sued the United States government and the New York NYPD for $100 million. The nation didn't have nothing to do with it. So, and then as far as Elijah Muhammad, you can go to YouTube and look at a video of Minister Farrakhan with all of the wives of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and their adult children, because they're adults now. And you hear their own eyewitness testimony about their husband, because in Islam, polygamy is allowed. Polygamy is not illegal. But these slave masters people, they act like polygamy is supposed to be bad or supposed to be evil. But they let two big hairy niggas, rainbow niggas, get married and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's cool. That's legal. But your natural right to be, have more than one wife at the same time, that's a nightmare. Black women feelings ain't having that at all. Black women is cool with this rainbow stuff, but black women ain't cool with our natural biblical history and African history of polygamy. So, like, y'all do what y'all want to do. Y'all can feel how y'all want to feel.
Right. And it's like, it's just like I never, I guess, like been approached in this manner, either. You know what I mean? I never, I guess, engaged with someone on this level or whatnot. But I'm definitely like intrigued, and my ears are open.
Yeah, and that's all it is, and just not just your ears, but the eyes and all of that. Study everything. Don't take nothing I say or no Muslim, NOI member on face value. Go run, pull the file, pull the receipts, put it on the scale. You know what I'm saying? Weigh it against everything else, because we can't force nobody to do nothing. All we can do is deliver the message, deliver the good news, deliver the warning, and get the blood off of our hand if you choose not to accept your own people, your own nation. And that's that. I can't feel sorry for you. I can't feel nothing. And that's why y'all Muslims don't help nobody unless they Muslim. That's BS. That's a lie. We in the street every day. We in the trenches every hood every day. But we can't stop Chicago from little youth from sliding on each other. What we supposed to do?
Yeah, that's a tough one right there.
Yeah, what we supposed to do? Violence? We supposed to knock them down ourselves?
I wouldn't advise that one.
You know what I'm saying? So we the example of living in peace with each other for 95 years, right in the hood in your midst. Y'all know that the Muslims exist. Y'all know the Muslims get respect in the penitentiary and the streets. You just because you don't want to be one, all right, cool. That's your choice. But you can't blame your rejection and your refusal on the Muslims. That's just like if you believe in God or the Bible, Noah or Sodom and Gomorrah or Babylon or Egypt or Rome. God still destroyed them people. Why did he destroy all of them people and only save one house, one family, Noah's family, and he destroyed everybody else? Was it Noah's fault that the whole city wouldn't act right, wouldn't listen to him? You must not be no real leader, because why Chicago so effed up? Okay, well, why God wipe out everybody except his man? Because y'all wouldn't listen to him, so F y'all. Y'all wouldn't listen to him. Y'all the problem, not Kanye, not the messenger. Y'all is the problem. According to the Bible, according to God, you know what I'm saying?
All right. They're right. But it seems as though like Kanye or Jay-Z, like they haven't given to the nation either.
Given what?
Uh,
It's money. It's
contribution
about
or
money.
yeah, or
Why
yeah.
it gotta be about money? If you giving information, if you waking up the people to the same enemy that we trying to wake them up to, that's worth more than money.
Okay.
If I
Okay.
give you some money, but I don't tell you that snake right there is poisonous, and the snake bites you, even though I gave you some money, did I really help you? Or
Nah.
if I told you I ain't got no money for you, but watch out for them snakes right there, they'll take your life. Which was the best help? Which was the best way I could help you? Me give you some money and you get bit with the money in your pocket.
I'm gonna go with B on that one.
You know what I'm saying? Or me showing you how to never get bit and you can get money and lose money and get money and lose money or whatever, and you still gonna be alive because you avoiding snakes.
Right. Right. And I definitely like feel the like having an army behind you or whatnot. Um, like for when it all like go down, like I'm definitely like with that for sure.
Yeah. And it go down every day. It's just the enemy is not gonna promote how we move. But you gotta
Mhm.
ask yourself, why don't the Muslims be on the news getting brutalized and getting done the way our people get done by the police or by this or by that, or Zimmermans? And why ain't no Zimmermans doing us like that?
That was kind of gonna be like my next question. Like I guess like in what I'm hearing, the plans of attack are kind of being discussed behind.
The plans of the enemy attacking us,
No, the plans for our attack or preparing for.
or how we respond. No, that they know how we respond. It's not no secret. They just not gonna put it on they mainstream media. Why would they give you the confidence to join up with us by letting you know how thoroughly we respond to they violations? And I can't get on here and Rico act myself. I can't get on here and say we do this and we do that.
Right. Yeah, and I don't want you to do that neither.
No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm just letting you know. I'm asking you a question. Why don't do the nation like that? Why do you think they don't do the nation like that?
Y'all solid.
I mean, they know our law. The law of Islam is retaliate. It's our duty. It's not tough guy, gang bang, clout. You know, whether we want to or not, we have to retaliate. We
Mm.
have to retaliate. And they know that. And then a lot of us that are seasoned in that, we don't love this life anyway. So just imagine you got a gang of Kanye's that know how to play ball, that know how to do what they do, and they don't love life. They're not scared to leave here. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
That's
Okay.
the most feared thing that the Bible say, they love not their lives even unto death. I think you can't scare me with death. Matter of fact, that's a relief because I'm so infuriated and so traumatized and full of so much wrath because my DNA is carrying all my ancestors' screams and shit and being burned at the stake and all, you know what I'm saying? And once they know that we up on that and we on that level, then they know not to play with this. They got to come right. They got to come calculated. And it's still a educated guess. It's still not going to work out the way they think it's going to work out, but they know that they just can't play with us like they play with wild niggas, wild unorganized niggas.
Okay. That's what's up. That's what's up.
And that's
Mm.
your nation. That's your army. It's not no tough guy, you know what I'm saying, stuff, but it's understood. No, he with us. That's our brother. Everybody, it's like a beehive. Everybody love Beyonce. Yeah, all of the worker bees is coming out. They're
Oh,
not gonna advertise it. You just gonna get stung, and It ain't no commercial. We're not doing no no swarm commercials.
Oh, for sure. Okay. And basically like we shouldn't feel entitled to any like billionaire like money
Nah,
in
that's childish. Like if you're a billionaire, I don't know how you got it. I don't know if I want blood money. I don't know if I want no parts of however you got your money, right? But if you come over to the righteous program, and then you choose to put, this up, or you want to dedicate this to this, then that's fine. But it's like we was talking about earlier, I think yesterday or something about they accuse us of being in cahoots with the KKK or with the American Nazi Party. If the Nazi Party or white people or KKK or the government wants to put up millions because they recognize the good work that we do, or some of their values or beliefs of separation is in line with ours, and they want us to encourage our people to separate from them because they don't want to be around us, and they want to put up millions of dollars for us to do that. They getting on our program. We're not getting on their program.
Right.
We don't get on their program. They get on our program.
Okay. And I'm gonna just hit the cam real quick. I gotta check this door real quick, but I'm still here.
Right.
I'm still here with you.
All right, for sure. Madon, you there?
Oh, for sure, man. Definitely listening in, and brother asking some good questions, and that's always good. To see brothers is see multiple perspectives, than what they used to.
Yeah, and they're just having access, like he said, having access to a FOI or FOIs that's patient enough or understanding enough or seasoned enough to be able to do justice and give them the attention and the respect to their question. Because we was bumping heads earlier. I was clowning, you know what I'm saying? I'm throwing jabs and all of that, but now I have to respect him on a different level. You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely.
Because we broke through all the little Kanye stuff. Now we get into the real manhood, brotherhood stuff, and that's what you got to go through. We got to have the patience and the tolerance or whatever to get past all that other stuff, so we can get to that brotherhood stuff. And that's when it's really gonna get proven. That's when you really prove who's who and what your quality and your character is, because you really there for your brother. You really there for your brotherhood.
Yeah, that's definitely what it's about, man. Definitely.
Yeah, like for sure. And I just thought about another thing. When you mentioned like say if I had the cure for cancer, like what had happened to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is just knowledge that I've gotten from the internet. Like I was
Right.
informed that Dr. Sabi had a cure for cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of like mysteriously died. Like, do you think it was foul play with his death?
Absolutely. I think so.
Okay.
I think so, but I also think he didn't have an army.
Okay. And that was gonna be my next question.
Everybody that's trying to be an island or is trying to be an individual, and they don't want to fall under the military line, divine military authority, and you think you're the authority because you know some herb stuff. Okay, that's good for that subject matter, but we talking about military. We talking about warfare. Okay, you can be in charge of the hospital then, but you're not in charge of running the government and running men. You don't move men just because you know some herbs.
Right. Did he ever like approach the nation or?
Well, yeah, he gave his credit. He gave credit to a lot of his philosophies or whatever to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So he got a lot of his dietary laws or whatever from Honorable Elijah Muhammad, how to eat to live.
Okay.
But as far as joining with the nation, no, he didn't join with the nation.
Okay. So do you feel if he did join, like he would have been like saved Or could have been safe.
He definitely would have been safer. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because he wasn't going to go to jail by himself. He wouldn't even be traveling like that. He wouldn't even be traveling without soldiers.
Okay. And it's like was it like his cause of death like a illness? Did they say this
Well,
one?
he was in jail, and they say he got I don't know, pneumonia or something while he was in jail, and the jail conditions was real poor or whatever.
Yeah, that was a sad case, but yeah, I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, but the proof is in the pudding. Like the history is already there. The history of comparison of how our people get handled versus how people that don't have this army and this God and this theology, how they get handled.
Do you think that it ever be a time where it come to like a race war, like us against them?
It already is. It already is that. The weapons
In
is
a
different.
sense, yeah, I'm talking about like weaponry and all.
No, the Fauci juice was the greatest weapon that we ever seen.
I mean, I hear what you're saying with that, and like I said, I never like believed in the whole jab or anything, but I'm talking about like.
Well, I'm talking about the single weapon. So if you know Bill Gates and GMO foods and chemtrails and all of that, you don't think those are weapons? You don't think those are race weapons?
No. They are weapons. But
Yeah,
when I
they
was
design and they design for specific races. They race targeted type of weapons, aren't they?
right,
The worst
and when I
food
was
go
talking
into the
about
ghettos, right?
correct, but when I was talking about a race war, I was talking about like more so like hand to hand or face to face combat, um, type of a race war.
I mean, is that really a war? You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna run out of bullets, right? If you get into that type of unrest or that type of collapse of government and anarchy, bullets is only gonna last so long. The most diabolical, the most widespread biblical proportion type weapons is weapons of mass destruction, right?
Correct.
That's already the race war that the planet been under by weapons way more sinister and deadly than guns and bombs.
Right, and the jail it took a lot of people out, but it didn't discriminate like a specific
Oh,
color.
it didn't?
No, like white people died too.
Yeah, but you break a few eggs to make an omelet.
Yeah.
White people won't die in a race war.
You said, are we in a race war?
No, I'm saying in your idea of a race war, white people won't die.
Yeah, and again, I'm thinking more so like on the level of like say like the Vietnam War, like the Iraq War, like
That's primitive caveman type war, right? We're not talking about like we live in 2025 high science and technology. The weapons, war don't mean what you think war mean. War don't mean hand-to-hand combat. That's not war. That's fighting. That's fighting or some rioting or something. That's not war.
I hear you. But like my definition of war is like just simple. Like one side believes in something, other side believe the opposite, and they are killing each other behind it.
Well, that's no disrespect, but that's a false idea, a false definition. Um, do you know where do you think diseases come from?
Manufactured.
So are they manufactured to keep people alive, or is they manufactured to get rid of people?
To get rid of you.
So the black community of America, aren't we number one in all disease causing deaths? Aren't we number one in diabetes and heart disease and cancer and HIV and whatever exists? Ain't we number one on the list?
We up there. I hadn't.
No, I mean, do you think somebody else is worse than us on the list?
Nah, I ain't gonna say that.
So is that a coincidence, or is that by design? Do you think?
Coincidence or design?
Why would we be number one on all of the disease fatality lists? Why would we be number one? Why would the black people of America be number one?
And that breath is definitely like more design for sure.
Right.
Like,
So if you go on the stats when we get off of here and we just look at, how many disease causing deaths are there per year for African Americans, and then we look at Vietnam War, how many people died in the Vietnam War, how many people died in this war, the Revolutionary War or whatever, or Iraq or whatever, which numbers you think gonna be the largest?
probably the one like over time.
Right, because it's an ongoing war against your health, right? Which ultimately leads to the taking your life. So that's you get to the same destination. But with this disease warfare, they get to bleed your bank account.
Right.
Ain't that smarter? Right. Ain't that wiser? If you was a Satan, would you just want to get rid of people that you got to pay for their burial and you got to pay for this? Or I can drain all of their money and then get rid of them. So now I got their money from them and I got their life.
That's definitely like the more sinister way of going about taking us out.
So would you be more worried about a so-called race war, the way that you see a race war, or would you be more concerned about the race war that been going on that took your loved ones out already?
And the race war is definitely like a hypothetical thing, like or like possibly like turning into that.
I mean, I'm just saying, you talking about your version of a race war, but I'm saying any loved ones that you got that died from disease, heart attack, hypertension, diabetes, cancer, or whatever. That was a race war for them. They was victims of a race war, wasn't they?
I never looked at it that way, and I'm kind of processing it as you are relaying it to me. Because I hear like the path that you're going down, and it's like making me think a little differently.
If you seen what Fauci and them just did, and you know the history of Fauci going all the way back to the HIV virus and all of that, if you learn that that's how they doing us,
The jail was 100% foul in my eye. Like when that came around, like I was on some like give me liberty or give me death, like
right,
tip, like for real, like
right. But that was you. So now, based on what you've seen, that you know that they're capable of, even though if you read American history, they started that as soon as they hit the Plymouth Rock in 1492 with the Pilgrims. They started doing bioweapons with the smallpox and the blankets, didn't they?
Yeah, that was a part of history.
Is that war? Is that not biological warfare? What they did to the Indians?
100%.
So why is it not war now when they doing it with the with the drugs? and the food and the GMO stuff.
Well, I'm not saying that that's not a war either. I was just
I'm talking about a race war. That's not a race war. If we the number one victims, casualties on all the stats.
I can't say that 100%. Like that would be like considered a race war, because like with diabetes and
Was slavery a race war?
HIV.
Was slavery a race war?
I was trying to answer the first one real quick, but you said was slavery a race war. Nah,
Slavery wasn't a race war.
nah, that was wrong answer.
Yeah, that was wrong. What's your last name?
Wiley.
Wiley.
Yeah, Wiley.
Right. So you look pretty dark, right? Are you an Irishman?
No, sir.
Why is your last name Wiley?
Cause it was given to us by whoever owned us.
Yeah, that's not war. That's not warfare.
It's not my interpretation of war.
Wow. Do you think your interpretation of war might need to change?
Possibly, and that's why, like, I truly like rock with you, and like, you know what I'm saying, like, cause you kind of opening my eyes to a few things, but I gotta just give a little pushback again.
No, I love you for that. I'm because you a man and you ain't just gonna take what another man tell you on face value. You're supposed to push back.
Right. And so, like, as far as my definition of war, my overall view, I mean, it's hand-to-hand combat.
And you got that interpretation or that belief from what? Watching movies, like watching war movies. What gave you the belief that was war?
The school books, and it was like Civil War,
Right.
Revolutionary War, or whatever, and that's like where my understanding of war came from, and that, like, I do understand that there is like chemical warfare with all those examples that you have brought up, but as far as the jab, like, it took other people out or other races too, like, and
So that's what my point though. If they using smallpox in a blanket, it ain't gonna take out some white people too. Was they able to control the airborne spores of smallpox when they was handing them blankets to the Indians? Or did some of them get took out too in the process?
I ain't too hip on that one, but it sounds like some white folk might have got took out.
Are you familiar at all with American military, war science? Have you ever studied military science of America?
Not like that.
Have you ever heard of like the attack on Pearl Harbor and all that stuff when they dropped the bomb and all that type of stuff? They dropped the first the hydrogen bombs and all of that.
Yeah, I remember that. And then I also I got like a step pop who was in the Vietnam War. They had this stuff called Orange or something.
Agent Orange. Yeah, Agent Orange.
Yeah,
So the reason why I'm saying that though is because with Agent Orange and with the Japanese, they have people that crack codes. They crack certain codes in the Navy, and they could find out what the Japanese Navy was about to do. There were certain little battles that the United States Navy knew that the Japanese was about to attack a certain Navy aircraft carrier or Navy fighter ship or whatever with hundreds and hundreds of innocent American soldiers on it. But if they would have intercepted their communication, it would have let the Japanese know that Americans had figured out their code and cracked their communication code. So guess what America did?
What's that?
Let them soldiers get killed. Let the Japanese attack that ship and kill all of them hundreds of soldiers just so they could save hundreds of thousands of soldiers or save millions of people, right? So that's war. Warfare is that. Warfare meaning you will sacrifice some of your own to get the accomplish the ultimate victory.
Collateral damage.
Yeah, collateral damage. So that's what warfare really means.
Okay.
Warfare don't mean just hand-to-hand combat. That's caveman Fred Flintstone age warfare. When they was using bow and arrows or musket guns and all, that's not warfare no more. Warfare is viral warfare. It's scientific now.
Okay. And when you first said like the chemical warfare, I didn't know if you was meaning like it was strictly targeted for us, even though like other races like got affected too.
Yeah, it is.
But you broke that down for
it's specifically for us. But whoever ain't in the loop, they just gonna get it. They gonna get it too.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're about elites. They're about their own secret fraternal brotherhood. And if you ain't part of our brotherhood or our secret fraternal order, our Freemasonry, our Skull and Bones, our so-called Illuminati, you gonna get what the niggas get. That's why they rebelling right now. That's why Trump's followers, 80, 90 million redneck Gentile whites, non-Jewish whites, that's why they going against their big brother, because that's what they did to them.
Okay. Hey, how do you feel about? Like,
you mean what do I think?
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah, what do you think about our people killing our own people? Like, do you think that's like a form of warfare?
Absolutely. That's called being possessed. That's called the mark of the beast. We got the mark of the beast. We got the mindset of being enslaved for 400 years by people that hate us. They put their own hatred for us in our own head, and now we hate us just like they hate us. And they don't have to do the job no more because they put their hatred in our forehead, and we acting out their mark of the beast that's in our head with our own hands. We doing their work for them, and that's why Kanye was wearing the black KKK uniform. That's what that means. You doing the job of the Klan for them. We're black. We're doing more killing of blacks than KKKs ever did.
Okay, so now we mean at the mind here. Cause I'm definitely feel you on that.
Mm-hmm.
And with that being said, with the whole LGBT pushing, like it's definitely seems to be like a form of like population control in a way. You know what I mean? Like, they don't want us to produce.
To agree with you, Bill Gates on the TED Talks, and as well as Henry Kissinger, National Security Memorandum 200 in early 1970s, mid 1970s, was clearly saying depopulation is the number one agenda of our policy in the United States. Depopulation.
And it's just us as a people, or
what? Well, yeah, they were saying depopulation of the third world, meaning black people.
Okay.
Right. So if they want to dedicate that number one priority policy to depopulate black people in Africa, how do you think they would intend to do with the black people here? You know. So what they came up with was proven strategies that they would, Bill Gates said if we do a really good job with vaccines, you know what I'm saying, then we could bring the population down to 1/3 or something like that. He on tape, he on TED Talk saying it. Why wouldn't we believe him? That's not warfare. Depopulation is not warfare.
No, I agree with you on that. Like like I said, we was on the same page with that. Like what we didn't agree, I think, was just more so on the slavery part, being like warfare.
Well, I think he was talking about a race war. You think race war is some physical hand combat between rednecks and niggas or something, like when all of it is race war. The whole thing is race war. Because if you depopulate in the third world means black people.
For sure.
Just like they knew who to come target and scoop up as slaves. That was strictly a race war. That was strictly about race. The Bible say, my people is destroyed and this and that, or Abraham know for surety that your seed, your descendants is going to be bondage in a land that's not theirs and be afflicted for 400 years. That's based on race. They're identifying you as a race. That's why the Jews can get that off and say, we're the chosen race. We got the state of Israel. We got our own separate state and territory based on our race. But then when we black people say that, then we tripping, we racist.
Wow. And okay, would you agree or disagree on well, actually not would you agree or disagree, which method do you think is the most effective currently as far as the warfare, whether it be chemical, whether it be us taking out our own self, whether it be the LGBT? You still there, bro? Uh-oh. Yo.
I think he's from. I don't know if he froze up or I can hear you though.
Oh,
You can hear me.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, I can hear you.
Yeah, what you think about that, or which form do you think is the most effective right now as far as the warfare?
Effective towards black people.
Yeah.
Me, I think it's a propaganda. I think propaganda, what I would call persuasive propaganda, is one of the biggest poisons affecting our people, because what it does is it make us think a certain way towards ourselves and towards our people.
Okay. Propaganda. What would be an example of the propaganda?
Like the music,
Okay.
like slide music that promote black on black violence.
Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah, and then like you got commercials out here that promote permanent sisters permanent hair, permanent daughters hair, and we got research that shows that perms cause all kind of ailments down the line for sisters. So
Okay. I don't know. Is Cam still on?
I'm not sure. I think he probably trying to get back in or something. He probably be back on in a second. But I mean, we fighting war on all sides. You know what I'm saying? I think the war we fighting is 360. We're in a 360 war. You know what I'm saying? Where we fighting on all sides. Where even when we sleep, we fighting. You know what I'm saying? But some of us don't know it. You know what I'm saying? Because we make
Yeah.
fun of. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like Cam made me think a little bit different about a few things.
Yeah, that's why it's always good to build with brothers, man. You know what I mean? Because you never know the different insights and different perspectives, and it's always a plus.
Nah, that's for real. And it's like I think we definitely taking ourselves out more Can you hear me?
Yeah, I still can hear you.
I
But yeah,
dropped
we
off.
definitely I agree. Yeah, we're definitely taking ourselves out more. You know.
Yeah, 'cause between that whole alphabet push and the music, like you say, like
So,
we really doing their work.
yeah, because to me, we fear our real enemies. We fear the real op. That's how I see it. Like the real op, like you see a lot of brothers got no smoke when it comes to the real ops. You know, but I mean, hey man, it's a sad situation. I don't want to go too deep because
Nah, you good,
you
you
know what I'm saying.
good. I wish you. I definitely wish you. It's like I say though, man. Like I wish we could like really like come up. I fell off again.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me? You still there?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
still
okay,
here.
okay.
Yeah, like I was saying, like I wish we could like come up with some solution that we could like truly put into action.
But I think we got a lot of solutions, man. I know this probably is might sound simplistic, but it's just just by changing your mind. To me, it's just that simple. You can become a new person just by changing the way you think. It's just that easy. We see people do it all the time. Brothers in jail, brother can go off to jail, and then he can probably go straight or whatever. When he come back, everybody, oh, you look good. You like a brand new person. So it goes to show just by changing the way you think, you could become a new person overnight or in weeks and months or over a year's course. But in time, you can do it. But just by changing your mind, to me, it's just that simple. But
Right?
yeah,
It is that simple for sure. But like for me, I ain't keep going out. Hello?
yeah, I can still hear you.
I don't know where I had cut off at, but it's like I feel like we need to have something of our own to where we don't ever have to reach out to them for help, if that makes sense.
I mean, I feel where you come from, but at the same time, I think you can always do business. You know what I'm saying? You can always do business.
Yeah, you can do business for sure, for sure. Ain't nothing wrong with business, but when I say own something like power, I mean like electricity, the school system, like actually like we have control over it in some kind of way.
Yeah, I feel as though we got the opportunities if brothers just change their minds and work with brothers and let go the fear of what might be or what might happen or what they might do. I think if we eradicate that type of thinking, what I mean, just go ahead and just do it and try it. Who knows? I think a lot of us sell ourselves short because we always think of what the man might do. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. And when you say a man, I mean
No, the man. You know how they say that.
the other man.
The man. In the South they say, the man.
Yeah,
Or
the
if you
other
become
man.
the man, you know.
Yeah, I'm just making sure we're on the same page. I'm with you for sure.